Well, here you are with us in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in the Forrest County Multipurpose Center, home of tonight's game between the visiting San Antonio Gunslingers and the home Mississippi Raiders. Raiders open their season 0-0. San Antonio Gunslingers a loss last week to the North Texas Bulls, 62-48. But the Gunslingers, hope to right this ship. I'm Philip Higginbotham. I will be with you tonight through the game. Alongside me, as always, my buddy, Leo Yamas. Leo, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Philip. Excited for the second game, the first road game for the Gunslingers. I know that coaches and players are ready now for some time today to get things going. And after a little bit of a challenge, very reminiscent of our first home game, it looks like we're almost ready to go.
So as you will notice, you're not seeing this live. That is with apologies. Our plan was to go live. We exhausted every resource that we had available to us to live stream the game. The Forrest County Multipurpose Center is a nice building. It is perfectly suited for the game that will be played here tonight. However, it is an older building with the internet infrastructure not being updated along with everything else that they've updated in the building. And so we were unable to live stream the game. We are recording. It will look just like a live game, and then it will go out uploaded so that you can enjoy this game whenever you're having a chance to sit down in front of your television or in front of your phone or computer and watch the game. We do apologize. Our plan is always to live stream the games and let you in on the action when the Gunslingers are on the road live. That just wasn't possible tonight.
Nope, not due to lack of effort. We tried multiple options. We had plans A, B, C, and D. We just weren't getting the signal that we needed to put out a quality video signal.
So you're seeing a beautiful signal now. You're getting a chance to see some of the fans here as they file into the Forrest County Multipurpose Center. A nice building. Looks like it was built sometime in the, I would say, early 70s is kind of when this building looks like it was built. A lot of rodeos go on here, so not all that different from the San Antonio Rose Palace. Set up a little differently in the spectator side of things. I think it's set up really well for the game we're going to see here tonight. You can see some of the seats there and the way that it's set up. Just really well suited for this particular kind of event, Leo.
Yeah, the setup is good. I kind of like the tables down on the floor level along the dasher board so the spectators can sit at their tables and eat. They have the concessions. They can have their food and their drinks. Not quite on the dasher boards, but I'm assuming if they want, they can go and lean on the dasher board and enjoy the action like we do at the Rose Palace.
For sure. Well, let's talk about a football game tonight. We have two different teams in two different situations. Let's start with the visiting Gunslingers as they drive in. Got in last night around 1 o'clock in the morning here in Hattiesburg. Went to bed. Had plenty of time this morning to rest and relax. Arriving here at the arena just a little over 4 hours ago. And they have had a meal. They have gotten some last-minute coaching and some warm-ups on the field. And they are ready to get a first win. They did not like the taste that last week left in their mouth, Leo.
Definitely not. It's been a long day of preparation. We've spent a lot of time around the players, and you can just tell that they're really chomping at the bit. That game did not go the way they had hoped for, the way they had planned. They feel like there's something there they need to prove. They're out to prove it today.
That's on the field. Off the field, there have been trials through the week.
Yes.
First and foremost, the one that I think everybody checking in is aware of. If you're not, this is liable to be fairly large surprise, but it was announced on Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
Thursday morning that Coach Tony Hernandez was going to be stepping down as coach of the San Antonio Gunslingers. The Gunslingers put out this statement, which you should be able to see there on your screen. Attention fans, the San Antonio Gunslingers are saddened by the decision of Coach Hernandez. made yesterday evening to leave the organization. We completely understand and respect his choice for what is best for him moving forward. We would like to sincerely thank him for his leadership and guidance throughout this new endeavor we embarked on. His commitment to serve our community will never go unnoticed, and the team is behind him always. A little bit of a shock, a little bit of a surprise as Coach Tony it felt like it was time for Tony, and ultimately the team respected that and was willing to say, Coach, if that's what you need, we will honor that and we will move forward without you. Not exactly what we want to see, certainly not what the fans want to see, but not a response to a first game loss, not a termination coming from a team that was upset about results on the field. Really just a matter of a situation that was not fitting the way that everybody kind of felt like it should. And so Coach Tony, wish him the best. The organization wishes him the best. But they're going to move forward. They're going to move forward for now with interim coach Quentin Humphrey. Coach Q.
Yep, Coach Q.
Is going to take the reins. So, Leo, what about this coaching change? We all know it concerns us. We all see concerns when you make a change after one game. What kind of positive perspective is there on a change like this?
Well, yeah, it's definitely not something you expect to see 1 week into the season, one game into the season. Is definitely a big surprise to everyone who's been following the Gunslingers closely since they started in preseason and workouts. Coach Hernandez has been a big part of the public face of the Gunslingers organization since the very beginning. So definitely this came as a big surprise. But moving forward, it was a mutual decision, and the team is moving forward. Coach Hernandez made the decision that for whatever reason that he needed to move on, and Coach Q has stepped up. The players are behind Coach Q. They're behind the rest of the coaching staff. We have Cheeto, and we have Coach James Stolt in the defense. And I was at practice on Thursday after that announcement had been made, and the team for the most part was relaxed and just focused on preparing for Game 2. Right now, I think that's the highest priority in all of their minds, was being ready for this game in Mississippi against the Raiders and get that first win of the season.
Other concerns or other trials that the Gunslingers have dealt with, they have traveled. That in and of itself is a little bit of a strain.
Yes.
We can attest personally to that.
Oh, yeah.
But in addition, some traveling that we thought would happen that did not. James Stoltz not with the team. Defensive coordinator James Stolt, an illness with his family has kept him at home. He's being true to his family, and that's what you want anybody to do. It does leave things a little dicey on this side of things, but Coach Herbert Cheeto Gonzalez is going to take care of the
defensive side
of the ball today, coaching them up and calling that side of the ball. Coach Q, Quentin Humphrey, is going to take care of the offensive side of the ball. They have met all night into the morning, made a plan, and put that plan together to take care of the game today. So not exactly the coaches we thought even after Thursday we would be entering the game with, but that's how things are going to work out today.
Right. Yeah, today is definitely a game of adversity. There's a lot of things being thrown at this organization before they can pick up their first win. But even through all that, all these challenges, I'm telling you, it's a very positive attitude, a very focused attitude by these Gunslingers players and coaching staff. They're ready to get that first win despite all of these challenges that they're facing. And we're not even done yet, Philip, with speaking of those.
So one more challenge this morning. J.B. Butler, who will be starting on the defensive line, found out that his mother is ill, and I don't think I'm going too far to say gravely ill.
Yes.
He made the decision to stay and to play in her honor, knowing that there wasn't much he would be able to do on the road on his way back or back at home to help her through this time, and that her desire would be for him to play and play well. So he will be out here tonight, and he will start for the Gunslingers. But our thoughts and prayers, and the thoughts and prayers of the organization, the entire Gunslingers organization, with J.B. Butler's mom and the family as she is in the hospital battling tonight.
Yes, very sorry to hear that news, and J.B. Butler, I'm sure, is playing with a very heavy heart, but nonetheless, he wanted to be out here with his brothers on the field, knowing that, like you said, traveling back home, the time it would take to get there, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot, so he's playing the game out there, I'm sure, with a heavy heart, with his mom on his mind, and we definitely, she is in our minds and in our prayers.
For sure. On the other side of the ball, the Mississippi Raiders come in tonight. This is their first game of the season. Coach Germany, got to talk to him for just a few minutes, and he's really not sure what to expect. They prepared. They're ready as you can be before you see your team on the field. We know exactly what that looks like because the San Antonio Gunslingers were in exactly the same position only 7 days ago at the San Antonio Rose Palace. You feel like you've got everything worked out. You feel like you've done everything you can, but at some point you don't know what you have until you step on the field, and that's where Coach Germany was.
So you usually take that into account as a home field advantage, but it's almost like all the pressure is on you. The Gunslingers are coming in, I think, a little more relaxed because they have that one game under their belt. They know what it's like to be out there on the field. They had that game against North Texas. And now all the pressure seems to be on the offensive side of the ball as they come in, or not the offensive side of the ball, but the Missouri side of the Mississippi side of the ball, as they come out for this game one in front of their home crowd.
As the lights go out and the Mississippi Raiders get set to take the field, we're going to talk a little bit about something that I'm not sure you've gotten to see yet from the same perspective I did down on the field earlier. I got a chance to see the Mississippi Raiders uniforms. You can maybe pick them out of the broadcast right now. They are black jerseys, black pants, and silver glitter helmets.
Very shiny.
If the light hits that thing just right, it'll blind other players. It's a little like wearing a disco ball for the Raiders.
Reminiscent of some previous.
Yeah, we've seen some of those before. They're really nice looking. The Gunslingers on the other side of the ball, you've already seen them. They will be wearing the white helmets, white jerseys, blue pants. We're going to take a break. We're going to step away and take a break. When we get back, we will preview the starting lineups for both teams, and we will get started on Game 2 of the San Antonio Gunslingers season. You are watching San Antonio Gunslingers game day coverage right here. We'll be right back. San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day is brought to you by G-Force Parking and Striping. Owned and operated by Travis Martin, G-Force San Antonio can handle all of your pavement marking needs. They provide high-end parking lot striping and parking lot marking services in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. G-Force is the #1 parking lot striping and pavement marking business in San Antonio. If you're ready to see results, get in touch with their team today by calling 210-710-1016. Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Admiral Security. Admiral is San Antonio's premier authorized ADT dealer, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands and protecting what matters most all across San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Admiral has a special offer for all you Gunslingers fans. Give them a call today for more information. Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by Moonlight Ballroom. Moonlight Ballroom is San Antonio's #1 event venue and party destination. Moonlight Ballroom is all-inclusive and offers any and all services for your event needs with party packages available. Weddings, quinceañeras, holiday parties, and more, you name it, they offer it. Give them a call today at 210-549-4180. Make sure to mention the San Antonio Gunslingers for a promotional discount. Moonlight Ballroom also bringing you all of the San Antonio Gunslingers touchdowns this season. Excited to have the Moonlight Ballroom be a part of that as our Gunslingers dance away in the end zone. They're imagining being at the Moonlight Ballroom and dancing away.
Dancing and somersaulting.
A prolonged intro here for the Mississippi Raiders,
It really
as we
is.
have heard a good
Collins.
majority of Phil Collins in the air of the night, with some fog moving across the field there. It's a very melancholy almost sort of entrance at this point. I'm thinking we're going to see something exciting here in just a moment. Here we go.
They kept us in suspense.
They have. Mississippi Raiders taking the field. Let's give you starting lineups, starting with your San Antonio Gunslingers on offense. Offensively for the San Antonio Gunslingers, on the offensive line, you're going to have Caleb Roller, Devin Livingston, and David Ansaldua taking care of the offensive line and taking care of their quarterback. David Olvera, who started last week and threw 3 interceptions, ended up being replaced by Nate Mace, but David is back and back in that starting slot. Next to him will be fullback William Richardson, which is not something that we knew coming into tonight, but William Richardson should start next to David Olvera in a fullback position. And then at wide receiver, you'll have Sean Mueller, his first action of the season after being a scratch last week. Wide receiver Nico Thomas, who made some noise last week.
Yep.
And then really the star of the offense on the San Antonio Gunslingers last week at wide receiver, Kali Rashad, will round out the offensive starting lineup for the San Antonio Gunslingers. On the defensive side of the ball, Jonathan Taylor, Eric England, J.B. Butler, they will be your defensive line. Lining up behind them at linebacker, Cody Brooks and Ivan Resendez. And then in the defensive backfield, Darius Banks, Jaleel Ali, and E.J. Perkins will be your defensive backs for the San Antonio Gunslingers today. Jonathan Taylor will be taking care of kicking duties. Manny unable to make the trip, Manny Nunez. We will see him on the 29th in Austin. Speaking of the 29th, not in Austin, I'm sorry, against Austin.
Against Austin.
March 29th, the next chance that you have to see your San Antonio Gunslingers live as we pack the Palace. Come out and join the San Antonio Gunslingers fans and the San Antonio Gunslingers as we cheer on our home team against the Austin Wild. Kickoff is at 7:30. Tickets can be purchased online at sanantoniogunslingers.com. It's the I-35 showdown. They're coming in twice. Austin Wild unable to secure a field this year. This will be the first of 2 of their trips into the San Antonio Rose Palace. You don't want to miss it. San Antonio's Gunslingers football is a good time here on the internet. It's an even better time live.
Right. That'll be a battle of the breakfast tacos as well, because there's always that.
There's no battle between San Antonio and Austin.
There's always that debate. I know there's no battle. You and I know better, but
there's no debate.
We could settle that argument on the field.
We certainly can. As the Raiders continue to get introduced onto the field, we'll give you their starting lineup, starting with their offense. They will have on the offensive line Chris Luke, Evan McFarland, and Chris Jamison taking care of their quarterback. Quarterback is Trey Shaw. Running back next to him will be Jude St. Julian. Their wide receiver core will be Tavarius McCormick, Destin Porter, and Jordan Gandy. That rounds out the Mississippi Raiders offense for their first game of the season. On the defensive side of the ball, their defensive line will be Ben Duhan, Jordan Barrett, and go ahead and try it for me.
Kokakwi Alexander.
That's what we're going to go with. Kokakwi Alexander is going to round out their defensive line. Lined up behind them at the linebacker position, Charles Barnes, Dean DeQuinton, and then in the defensive backfield, Justin Jackson, B.T. Sanders, and Alex Jackson will round out the defense for the Mississippi Raiders. As introductions on the field begin to wind down, Leo, what's tonight's game going to look like?
Well, just like last week where we didn't have a whole lot of information coming in, but we were kind of taking a guess on some of the history and some of the measurables we saw on the rosters. Looking at the Mississippi Raiders, I know that we can expect at least offensively. I think they're going to highlight their wide receiver, Tavares McCormick.
Yep.
5'10", 180 pounds. He did play at Troy. And he spent some time, I think, with the Stampede in the CFL.
That's correct.
So he definitely has a little bit of a resume out there playing professionally. On the offensive side of the ball, has some speed for sure. And on the defensive side, defensive back BT Sanders actually was on the roster or practice squad or something with the Buffalo Bills for a little while. Watched some film on him, and he is a fast, physical, hard-hitting defensive back, 6'1", 210. So he's a guy to look out for on defense.
Without any film, without any ability to see what we're going to see going off the roster, last week we told you in pregame, watch the quarterback who had some experience. He ended up picking apart the San Antonio Gunslingers defense. Watch the offensive line that had size to protect him.
Yes.
And they did that. San Antonio Gunslingers still securing 8 sacks during that game against that offensive line. The one thing we notice when we look at the roster of the Mississippi Raiders is that there is a lot of speed on the field.
And not size.
Yeah, not exactly size, but certainly speed. As we get ready for a coin toss, it looks like your San Antonio Gunslingers captains will be number 8, Cody Brooks, number 18, David Olvera, and number 77, David Ansaldua. Getting ready to take the coin toss. We'll wait. Looks like we're going to get the national anthem first. We'll go to the PA folks. Caught me a little off guard. I didn't know we were playing that quickly. I wasn't even standing up and ready. But we get the national anthem taken care of, and we prepare for the coin toss here at midfield. Cody Brooks, David Olvera, David Ansaldua waiting at midfield for the... Looks like we're getting a second. Second game of the season, Leo. You get 2 national anthems. Stay tuned with us for game 9 in June when we have 9 national anthems.
I was going to say, before we continue, let's make sure we don't have a third coming.
No problem getting extra love for this great nation of ours. I don't think anybody's going to be upset with that.
No.
So here we go. Now it's time for a coin toss. I know I've teased it. Looks like our captains for the Mississippi Raiders will be number 4, Tavarius McCormick, number 1, Casey Colbert, and number 2, BT Sanders. Those will be your captains for the Mississippi Raiders coming out for the coin toss. We've already told you that touchdowns will be brought to you by the Gunslinger touchdowns will be brought to you by the Moonlight Ballroom. It also does us well to tell you that first downs, all Gunslingers first downs will be brought to you by Devil's River Whiskey. Devil's River Whiskey, another great sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers. There on the field you see handshakes, and we'll get a coin toss and find out exactly who will start us off tonight.
Looks like the numbers and the team name on the Raiders uniforms are also kind of sparkly. That's a new one for me.
You can even see some sparkle. I'm sure that's coming across. We've got a nice clear signal for you tonight. I'm certain that you're seeing some of the shining and shimmering and splendid helmets there for the Mississippi Raiders.
So our first look at the road uniforms for the Gunslingers with the white jerseys, the white on the blue with the white helmets.
Yeah.
What'd you think of those, Philip?
I like the look. I do. It's when they told me what it was going to be, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it all that much. All right, so the Mississippi Raiders have won the toss. They elected to defer to the second half. The San Antonio Gunslingers will receive the kick on our left side, your left side of the field as well. We're about ready for some football here, Leo.
Yeah, it's been a long day of preparation, and we're finally getting ready to see what we've got in our opponent here with the Mississippi Raiders.
Referee crew tonight here out of Mississippi, and this is their first game in the AAL. They will probably have some first game jitters. Bear with us as we make our way through. San Antonio Gunslingers taking the field. Number 13, Chris Bustamante, along with number 19. 13 is not going to be back deep for the kick. It's going to be number 12, Jalil Ali, and Kali Rashad, number 19, back deep for the kick for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Your kicker for the Mississippi Raiders, Tristan Reynolds, number 55, 5'9", 170. He's going to be handling the kicking duties for the Raiders tonight. It's about time for some football. You see Tristan, number 55, Tristan Reynolds there. Number 55 waiting for a football from the official. We're ready to get started on game 2 of the San Antonio Gunslinger season.
Kicking off for your Raiders, number 55, Tristan Reynolds.
We have a little bit of higher of a ceiling here, so we expect to see.
Watch Tristan Reynolds kick a lot during the pregame, and he was still hitting this ceiling though.
Yeah.
Ready to play from the officials. We're ready to play in the stands. Here comes the kick, and the game is on. Ali takes the ball all the way up to the 10-yard line. That's where your San Antonio Gunslingers will start their first possession of the game. First and 10 from the 10-yard line.
Number 44, the Quentin D.
Yeah, Ali came through. I thought he was going to hit a seam there, but he came head on with a host of Raiders.
They captured him and kind of dragged him back and said,
Yeah.
no, you're not going to go much further than this, sir. 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line as the Gunslingers break the huddle. David Olvera, rough night a week ago. He's looking to right the ship.
I expect a better night from David today.
Khalil Rashad, your in-motion receiver. David Olvera sends him in motion. Snap of the ball. He looks deep, and he's looking for Rashad. Rashad is
He was looking for a flag.
looking for a flag and is not going to get it.
He looks
A
upset
little bit
about
of
that.
hand fighting down the field. Ultimately, an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line. Yeah, Khalil Rashad not really happy with the officials' work there.
Yeah, he ran a post route. It looked like he had his man beat on the inside. David Olvera got the ball out that direction, but there was a little bit of arm wrestling on the route and a no call.
2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line. And this time Sean Mueller will take the ball up the field, gains about 6 or 7 yards, setting up a 3rd down. Remember, in Arena League football, in the AAL, there is no punt. So you're either going to attempt a kick, and I will tell you right now, I do not see the Gunslingers kicking a lot of field goals, making a lot of field goal attempts. So every spot on the field is 4-down territory, and we saw some excitement during 4th down 1 week ago in the San Antonio Rose Palace.
We sure did. Even on 4th and long, you're not necessarily doomed in arena football.
David Olvera has Sean Mueller behind the line. He will be your in-motion receiver. He's in motion. The snap comes. Olvera looks deep and throws a little long, looking for Nico Thomas, and the pass was incomplete. That sets up a 4th down and 3. We're going to call it 3.
3. I bet Olvera would really like that one back. He had his receiver,
Nico
Thomas,
was wide open. Yeah.
And just missed him, overthrew him by just a little bit.
Sean Mueller, your deep receiver, who will go into motion. William Richardson beside David Olvera in max protect. Olvera's back, throws out to Sean Mueller, short of the 1st down, and they will not get it. Loses about 3 yards, and the Mississippi Raiders will take over on the 14-yard line with a 1st and 10 for their first possession. Not exactly the possession the San Antonio Gunslingers wanted to start this game out with.
Nope, not at all. Turnover on downs. He got the ball out to Mueller on the little out, but he was met by a defender there. Tried to make a move, but kind of tripped. And that was the end of the play there. So now the defense comes up with their backs against the wall here. Pressure to try and get a stop.
Player to watch on the offensive side for the Mississippi Raiders, number 4, Tavarius McCormick. He is all the way down on the bottom of your screen. Trey Shaw takes the snap, floats it deep, and it is incomplete, but not for lack of effort by his receiver, and they will reset the pads on the dasher boards for that one as he slams into the dasher boards but drops the ball.
Right, that went to the receiver, and he met the wall before he could reel in the ball, and he tried to reach out over after the ball, but just barely beyond his grasp.
2nd and 10 from the 14. Dustin Porter, the receiver, the intended receiver on that 1st down play. Trey Shaw back again. This time he finds his receiver, number 22, Jordan Gandy. Jordan Gandy completes the play for 6 yards. 3rd and 4 coming up on the 9-yard line. So 3rd and 5, I guess, on the 9-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd down thanks to Jaleel Ali wrapping up and making that tackle as soon as the catch was made.
Trey Shaw does not send a receiver into motion, as is typical in arena football. He will flip the ball out, take a hit hard into the board. Incomplete pass, 4th down and 5. Smart play by a crafty guy there.
I tell you what, Shaw had didn't want anything to do with Cody Brooks. He saw him coming at him like a steam train and just flipped that ball out of bounds and still took the hit.
Trey Shaw a little bigger than I was expecting when I read the roster on him.
Yeah, he looks all of that 6'3", 220, and maybe a little more. Trying to draw him off sides, maybe.
Absolutely. 4th down. Trey Shaw back. He gets the ball out to Devarius McCormick, who is immediately swallowed up by number 7, Darius Banks. That is going to turn over the ball on downs. An incredible defensive stop for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Really with their backs against the wall on the 14-yard line there for 1st down. They are able to limit the Mississippi Raiders to only 5 yards, maybe 6. And get the ball back for their offense. Good deal.
Great defense. It's not very often in arena football you're going to see the first 2 possessions end with a 4 and out, but that's what we've just seen here. Let's see if the Gunslingers can capitalize on their 2nd possession.
David Olvera now with a chance to see what the Mississippi Raiders are going to throw at him defensively. He lines up and sends Sean Mueller into motion. Pass out to Khalil Rashad. He gains about 7 yards up to the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3, maybe even 2.
Yeah, about that. Good gain on 1st down. They've had some chances and just barely missed on a couple of connections, so it seems like the offense might be heating up here. Let's see what we do here.
Sean Mueller back deep as your motion receiver once again. David Olvera sends him into motion, snaps the ball, looks down the field, and finds Sean Mueller for the 1st down. That is a Devil's River Whiskey 1st down for your San Antonio Gunslingers on the 22-yard line.
Yep, Sean Mueller able to get open in the middle of the field. The defense met him pretty quickly, though, but it is a 1st down, as you said, Philip.
And a good spot, 23-yard line.
Nice.
Looks like they gave him a little bit of extra room there. 1st and 10 on the 23. The San Antonio Gunslingers break the huddle. Line up your deep receiver, Sean Mueller again, with Lee Calloway next to David Olvera, and he will take the handoff. Lee Calloway, but he will be stopped 2 yards short of the line of scrimmage,
Yeah, he
setting up a 2nd and 12.
Callaway met a wall, just couldn't find a hole, and resulted in a short loss here. That Raiders defense, they swarm to the ball. They seem to be moving laterally really well so far.
Sean Mueller, your deep receiver, going into motion again. Olvera holds him, signals him, changes things up a little bit, and then sends his receiver into motion. Ball is snapped. Olvera looking deep. And number 9, Nico Thomas, catches the ball. It looks like a touchdown, but there is laundry on the field all the way back at the line of scrimmage. David Olvera finds out what the flag is about, cheers, and runs down the field. It looks like that will be something against the Mississippi Raiders. We'll wait and see what our white hat has to say.
From Olvera's reaction, I think it's against Mississippi. It looked like there was a little bit of entanglement in the arms there on that play too. So far, the refs are letting
Personal
a play.
foul, Mississippi Raiders. Touchdown is good. David Olvera to Nico Thomas. 6 points on the board for the San Antonio Gunslingers.
The play still results in a touchdown for San Antonio.
As you predicted, it looks like the Gunslingers are going to go for 2.
Gunslingers lining up for that 2-point conversion. David Olvera with Callaway next to him.
Oh.
Callaway tries to get the direct snap. Olvera picks up the ball, throws it to an empty part of the field, and that's going to keep the score at 6-0. San Antonio Gunslingers. That's the lead right now. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with San Antonio Gunslingers game day football right after this.
The Mississippi Raiders.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
Point lead here to start the game, or here in the first quarter. David Olvera finding Nico Thomas deep down the field and scoring the only points we've seen so far in this game against the Mississippi Raiders. Somebody's broken the seal now. Now we're liable to see
I think, a lot
some
of scoring.
points get scored.
Well, we got Armand Lott
Armand
coming
Lott
onto the field.
checking into the game. His first action of the season. Jonathan Taylor lines up to kick the ball off. Not a deep kicker, Jonathan Taylor. He'll kick the ball and it'll land about the 10 or 11 yard line. And
On the return for the Raiders.
number 41, Brian Carrasco, will come flying in and put an end to that return on the 20-yard line.
Brian Carrasco.
Yeah, Brian Carrasco really came down, and he was going one direction, then all of a sudden Carrasco was there, and then he was going backwards.
First and 10 for the Raiders from the 20-yard
San Antonio
line.
Gunslingers forcing a 4 and out in the first Mississippi Raiders possession, as Coach Herbert Cheeto Gonzalez signals to his defense what he'd like to see them do. The Raiders break the huddle. Trey Shaw once again, it looks like he's getting ready to send a receiver in motion for the first time in the game, and he does just that. Snaps the ball, works his way back, way down the field. He finds number 22, Jordan Gandy, for a touchdown to tie the score at 6. That didn't take long. We said something about the seal being broken.
Right, and now the fireworks go. Jaleel Ali really upset with himself. He got beat on that play. Great pass, and he tried to hit the receiver and hopefully jar the ball loose between him and the wall, but good catch. Jaleel walked away. You can tell he was a little upset with himself.
One play, all the yards.
That's all it
30
takes.
yards, touchdown. And we have a tie score, 6-6, with the 2-point conversion, I assume, coming. Although, no, it looks like the kicker is lining up to take the extra point. And their kicker is fairly solid at the kick. He was kicking from his own goal line and getting very close to putting him through the uprights in pregame. Reynolds will line up for the extra point. Snap down, kick is away, and through the uprights. Mississippi Raiders will take a 1-point lead, 7-6, over the San Antonio Gunslingers. We'll keep it right here.
Good job by the holder. He struggled with the snap for just a second there, but was able to get it under control and get it down.
Yeah, it was not a clean hold, but he got it down in time.
Yep.
The Raiders would like to thank Coca-Cola for being a proud sponsor of the Mississippi Raiders.
Jaleel Ali and Kali Rashad will be back. You know, Jaleel Ali just got upset with himself for allowing a receiver to get behind him. There's no better way to make up for that then return the kick for a touchdown. Right, Leo?
Right. That would be the best scenario right now for the Gunslingers, but we'll see what happens. As long as the offense takes advantage of this opportunity and keeps the upper hand, that's the important thing.
For being the official team positions on the Mississippi Raiders.
Tristan Reynolds lining up the ball on the tee, just off to the right side of the field for him. Every kicker likes it placed a little differently.
Yeah. His last kick boomed and just barely missed the ceiling.
Tristan Reynolds gets the ready to her play signal and kicks the ball deep and bounces off the ceiling. That will stop play and should set the ball at the 25-yard line.
Right about the 20 to 25, somewhere in there where it hits is where it goes out of play, and I think it was close to the 20. Yeah, that's where they're putting it, right at the 20.
They will. They'll place the ball right at the 20. And that's where the San Antonio Gunslingers will start their third possession of the game. What? Ready? We are already into the second quarter, according to the scoreboard here.
Really?
Yeah.
Fast action in the first quarter.
Quick. David Olvera back deep. And he will pitch the ball out to Lee Callaway. Callaway will take the ball for about a yard gain, setting up 2nd and 9 on the 21-yard line.
A little bit of trickery there. The Raiders defense wasn't fooled, though. They were only able to gain about a yard and a half on that play.
Short gain on the play, 2nd down for the Gunslingers.
Chris Bustamante, your deep receiver, he will go into motion. David Olvera snaps the ball, looks down the field. There is a flag. Bustamante catches the ball for a touchdown. Oh, no, he was not able to hold on to the ball. Incomplete. And we do have some laundry on the field.
There is a flag on the play.
Hit him in the hands, Phillip, and he just didn't bring it all the way into his body and lost the ball. We'll see what this flag is about.
It'll be a legal shift, I believe, on the San Antonio Gunslingers. That'll back them up 5 yards. We'll also give them another shot at 1st down.
I think in arena football, you will take that penalty over losing the down.
For sure.
Most of the time.
And it seems like the ball only moved back about 3 yards.
Well, they gained a yard and a half on the last
That's
play.
That's correct. So it's 2nd down and 13, 14. Jonas, our producer, says it's 14, Phillip. And Jonas, our producer, is usually right about things. So we're going to 2nd down to 14. David Olvera having a prolonged conversation with Chris Bustamante. Maybe they're talking about, hey, let's try that again. That got really close. Let's try it again. Olvera gets set, sends his receiver in motion, hands off to Bustamante, who's only able to gain about 2 yards before he's tracked down. And that'll set up a 3rd down and 12.
About 12, yeah.
Short gain on the play. It's 3rd down for San Antonio.
Nice attendance tonight. I'm seeing about 1,000 or so here in the Forrest County Multipurpose Center.
Yeah, a few hundred, close to 1,000 probably.
David Olvera lines up his offense. Chris Bustamante goes into motion. Ball is snapped. Olvera back. He finds Nico Thomas again, making his way down the field, securing the Devils River 1st down. It will be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. That'll cure.
Yeah, that was exactly what the offense needed. Nico Thomas found that nice soft spot right in the middle where there was no defense, right between the linebackers and the defensive backs, and Olvera got it to him with a little bit of room to run before he was run into the wall.
And Nico Thomas wasn't going to take that wall for granted. He bounced off that wall and said, if you'll let me keep going, I will.
I'll keep going, yep.
The referee said, nope, that's not how the game is played. First and goal from the 7-yard line. David Olvera under center. Lee Calloway lined up deep behind him. Receiver in motion, that's Nate Mace. Olvera drops back and has some pressure in his face. He throws the ball out, and it's incomplete.
That was interesting. Nate Mace came and ran his route, slipped, fell in the middle, and Olvera, I think, was looking for him, then used his feet to extend the play, decided to go back to Mace, who at that time went to the corner of the end zone, and I thought was pushed into the wall, and maybe that's the call here.
Personal foul against the Mississippi Raiders. That will be half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
I think that's what the call was.
It will only be about 3 yards, but it will set the San Antonio Gunslingers up with a first down and goal on the 3-yard line.
Another Devil's River Whiskey first down.
First down, that's correct. Good call, Leo. You're on it. David Olvera spreads his offense way out, sideline to sideline. Nate Mace goes into motion. Armand Lott taking the ball, gaining maybe a yard on the short pass. It's going to set up a second down and goal from the 2.
Yeah, about the 2.
One of those quick out passes, hoping the receiver in some wide open territory can make one guy miss and trot into the end zone.
Lott tried to, but yeah, he met Lon with about 3 defenders there. I think the Raiders maybe got a break. It looked like they jumped.
I saw some movement before the line. I don't know if it was white or black, but there was definitely something off in the timing there. Olvera lines up his offense again. Nate Mace will go into motion. Ball snapped. Olvera back to pass. In and out of the hands of Cameron Johnson. Unable to secure the ball for the touchdown. That sets up a third down on the 2-yard line.
Catchable ball. I just don't think Olvera and Cam Johnson were in sync there. He was not ready for that pass, and before he knew it, it was right there. He got his hands up, but not quick enough to catch the ball. Would have been a touchdown.
Cam Johnson will move off the field and make room for other receivers. And it appears we may have a timeout on the field. Timeout on the field. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, A-R-E-N-A. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. Switch sides of the field, so this must be the second quarter. That's what I'm going to guess. That's what I'm going to say. Jonas and I both look at each other and go, I don't know.
Maybe that.
Usually when they switch sides of the field, that means it's
that's
time.
The quarter, yeah. I think it's just a scoreboard error up there. So we are now finally in the second.
Third down. Olvera back. David Enseldua will catch the pass for a touchdown. I love to see a big guy score. David Enseldua will secure the touchdown. Just in case you were wondering, That man is 6'5" and all of 300 pounds, and he is out there fleet-footedly catching touchdown passes.
Yep, offensive lineman reported as eligible, and David Olvera got him the ball, and that's a load to try and get down.
For sure. Ansel do his first touchdown of the year. Probably not his last, though, the way he handled that.
Yeah, I like that. I think that needs to be part of the regular Gunslingers repertoire. Moonlight Ballroom touchdown.
Another Moonlight Ballroom touchdown. You're on it, Leo. I appreciate that, making sure our sponsors get credit for the wonderful Gunslingers moments they're bringing you. Gunslingers will line up for the two-point conversion. David Olvera setting up his offense, motioning out to Nate Mace. But it will be Chris Bustamante taking the ball, squeezing upfield and through the line. I'm not sure he got that.
I think he got in. I think he did get in, and I saw the ref signal.
Great.
He found the hole and hit it and just got past the goal line. He got low and found the hole.
Bustamante adds 2 points, and that'll set the San Antonio Gunslingers at 14, while the Mississippi Raiders have 7. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by CryoFit. CryoFit TPC is San Antonio's leading recovery and wellness facility, specializing in whole body cryotherapy, vitamin therapy, IV supplementation, infrared sauna, and much more. Home to your San Antonio Gunslingers, CryoFit focuses on increasing athletic performance, reducing recovery time, and pioneering prevention. The faster you recover, the harder you can train. Come experience the many benefits of CryoFit TPC. Follow them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit their website, www.mycryofit.com. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Alamo Brewery. Alamo Brewery is San Antonio's premium production brewery. Alamo makes numerous styles of beers that are brewed specifically for our San Antonio beer palates. Look for all these beers in your neighborhood grocery store and at your favorite restaurants and bars. Alamo Brewery proudly supports the Gunslingers. Look for Gunslinger-specific labels on some Alamo Amber cans and Alamo Listo Light cans when it's time to buy your next beer. Gunslingers football coming to you from the Forrest County Multipurpose Center in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Jonathan Taylor will kick off after they take a 7-point lead. That kick will fly out of bounds. It will go onto the field.
Right about the 15.
Where it exited play, that is the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Mississippi Raiders there. Interesting that there is no penalty.
Penalty, right. It's where it goes out of play is where the ball is. Oh, they're moving it to the 20.
They're going to call it the 20-yard line. I don't know if that is because that's where they felt like it went out, or
yep,
with a penalty on there.
Because of a penalty or because of that's where they felt the ball went out. To me, it looked like it went out closer to the 15. So far for Mississippi, it's been the quick strike that has made them successful. Let's see if the Gunslingers can defend against that.
Their one touchdown was on the first play of that drive. As Trey Shaw will send his receiver in motion, drop back to pass, throw deep. And there's going to be a flag on the play.
Yep.
As Darius Banks kind of accidentally? No, I don't think he accidentally.
Well, it looked like maybe he lost his balance and fell into the receiver, but whatever it was, it's a penalty.
Yeah. That's going to be a pass interference, a defensive pass interference penalty. And that is going to move the ball 10 yards, if I understand correctly. It is not a spot foul. There you go. It is. It's 10 yards down to the 20-yard line. That will be a first down for the Raiders. 1st and 10 on the San Antonio Gunslingers 20-yard line. Trey Shaw already has his offense back up to the line. Sends a receiver back and yo-yoing forward into motion. Ball snapped. And number 22, Jordan Gandy, once again was able to beat Jaleel Ali in kind of the same way he did on that touchdown pass earlier. It just wasn't as good a pass from Trey Shaw.
Right.
Ali's going to have to make sure he locks down a little better on Jordan Gandy.
I agree. I think Shaw just overthrew that ball a little bit. I think they think maybe they found something, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go to that again relatively soon.
2nd down and 10, Gunslingers 20-yard line. Mississippi Raiders attempting to bring the score a little closer. 14-7, San Antonio Gunslingers. Trey Shaw sends Jordan Gandy into motion. Drops back to pass, and he's got pressure all over him as number 5. And number 5 is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Drags down Trey Shaw, and Trey Shaw is still on the turf.
Yeah, he took him down hard, spun him around into the turf.
Not what you want to see.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Big loss of yardage all the way back to the 14-yard line. That is a 16-yard loss, but that is not what the Mississippi Raiders are worried about right now, as the San Antonio Gunslingers training staff, who is the training staff for the game today, head out to see what they can do to help Trey Shaw.
Trey Shaw laying motionless on the field right now. He got swung around into that turf pretty hard. Wasn't any kind of penalty or anything, but hopefully he's able to get up and come off the field on his own power.
Mississippi Raiders backup quarterback number 13, Cam Myers, will be getting ready to take the field as Trey Shaw will need a few minutes at best to recover. We're going to take this time to go ahead and take another break. Stick right here. We'll be back with Gunslingers Game Day Football right after this. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Prince Automobiles. Prince Automobiles, conveniently located at 6355 Montgomery Drive in San Antonio, is your full-service independent automobile dealership that sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. They have financing and warranties available. Call them at 210-850-7125 to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online right now at princeautomobiles.com. Architect Outdoor Living, where we bring your outdoor living ideas to life. Architect is a deck and patio design and installation company that offers custom designs that can incorporate various amenities and features that go beyond just decks and patios. They can build just about any outdoor structure you have in mind. Their contractors are all trained, licensed, and certified. Contact your local architect agent to complete a complimentary design consultation or go online to architect.com. Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by the Smoking Guns Podcast. Smoking Guns Podcast is your one and only source for information and analysis on the San Antonio Gunslingers. Every week, Philip, Leo, and RC will take you inside the Gunslingers as they battle their way through the West Division of the American Arena League. Find all their episodes online at smokinggunspod.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. The 210's got something to say. Cam Myers comes into the game for Trey Shaw. Trey Shaw able to walk off under his own power, but still with trainers beside him. We're not going to speculate. We're not going to guess. We have no idea what that injury is or what the reason that he needed attention was, and so we're not going to speculate on it. We're just going to move forward with Cam Myers taking the reins for the Mississippi Raiders with a long way to go. A 3rd down and 24,
25,
26. Let's call it 26. 3rd down and 26 for Cam Myers as he steps in for the injured Trey Shaw here in Mississippi tonight. Cam sends his receiver in motion, drops back to pass, and there is a flag.
That looks like movement
on the field. That will most likely be a false start there on the offense, bumping them back 5 more yards.
So we are no longer looking at a 3rd and 26. We are looking at a 3rd and 31.
Yeah, a little out of sync, which is, to be expected when you get a different quarterback in there under center.
Brand new quarterback, not the guy that you've been giving first team reps to. Cam Myers is going to do his best to bring his team back. Only down by 1 possession right now, down 7 points. Not an insurmountable situation, but certainly you'd much rather have your starter Trey Shaw in there. Cam Myers will send his receiver in motion, drop back to pass, bounce and look, and he's got pressure all over him as he is dragged down by number 16. The ball
Gunslingers
came
come up
out.
with the ball, but I don't know if he was down already.
So
they're
the
discussing
referees
it.
will have to discuss whether this is a touchdown, a sack on the 1 yard line, or a sack in the end zone for a safety. And it appears they will give the 1 yard line, or gosh, it's sitting on the goal line.
Right on the goal line. Cam Myers had 2 separate receivers open for a little bit on that play, but just held onto the ball like he was a little uncertain on where to go with that ball. And then before he knew it, he had the Gunslingers right in his face, and it ended up being a disaster. Now it's 4th and
40.
Forever
It
from
is
their
4th
goal
and
line.
40. The length of the field ultimately is what Cam Myers has to deal with here.
He needs to be careful with that back wall. That would be a safety.
Passes the ball out, just gets it out of his hands quickly, get as many yards as you can. And they do. They only get down to the 15-yard line where the San Antonio Gunslingers will take over. Destin Porter, the receiver on that play, that was just a get as many yards, get us as far away from the end zone as you can.
Right.
If you can squeak through and get us a first down or a touchdown, more power to you. But just get us away from this goal line.
Right. So even with that, though, the defense put the Gunslingers offense in a great position here to come out and start this drive from the 16-yard line of the Mississippi Raiders. So.
Yeah, 1st and 10, Mississippi Raiders, 16-yard line for the San Antonio Gunslingers to start off this possession. 14-7 lead for the Gunslingers, and they are looking for more as they break the huddle and head to the line. David Olvera pulling his running back, Chris Bustamante, back behind him, sending him into motion, dropping back to pass, looking for Bustamante deep, and throws the ball into the corner of the end zone where nobody is. 2nd down.
Yeah, it looked like Bustamante slowed down on his route Olvera thought he was going to continue running to the outside, running that corner route, and he kind of slowed down. So a little bit of a miscommunication on that play.
Second down and 10, 16-yard line for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Olvera back in the shotgun. He sends his receiver into motion. Got some pressure in his face, but he's going to escape that. Throw the ball deep. Incomplete.
A little nifty move there by Olvera to get away from the pressure. Looks like Coach Q is a little upset with him about something, maybe because he had some room to run in front of him and didn't take that.
Coach Q absolutely made a signal to him that says, take the ball and run up the field if you've got that kind of field in front of you. He felt like positive yardage of some sort is better than an incomplete pass. 3rd down and 10 on the 16-yard line, and the Mississippi Raider crowd getting involved in the game, chanting for their Mississippi Raiders. David Olvera sends his receiver into motion, snaps the ball, drops back, looks down into the end zone, chooses to go with Khalil Rashad, who doubles all the way back to the original line of scrimmage and then back further, ultimately loses a yard. He ran 30 yards or so to lose a yard. 4th down and 11 coming up.
You know, Khalil had such an amazing game in game 1 despite the loss, and that's just him trying to make some of that magic happen again. Probably tried to do a little too much there, end up taking a loss, but He's just trying to make a play.
Coach Q's going to talk to him about it. Or Coach Cheeto Gonzalez is going to talk to him a little bit about it as Khalil Rashad exits the game. And a 4th down in a great offensive position to start this drive on the 16. They find themselves at 4th down and 11 on the 17-yard line. Sean Mueller in the backfield with David Olvera. He will go into motion. Olvera snaps the ball, looks for number 9, Nico Thomas, who's going to walk his way into the end zone and score a touchdown for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Nico Thomas, a 17-yard touchdown pass from David Olvera.
Yeah, Olvera was able to get him the ball. Was a little pressure there. And Nico breaks a tackle and then just saw daylight in front of him and got to the end zone.
That is Nico Thomas's 2nd touchdown of the game. That is David Olvera's 3rd touchdown pass of the night here in the first half. San Antonio Gunslingers take a 20-7 lead, and they will attempt for 2 more as they spread the Raiders defense way out, sideline to sideline. Lots and lots of receivers behind the line of scrimmage, and David Olvera will fix that because that's not a legal. Oh, he's got pressure right in his face, and David Olvera will go down. The score will stay 20-6, 20-7. Here in Mississippi, your San Antonio Gunslingers have a 2-possession lead, 20-7. We'll take a break real quick and be right back.
Of the Mississippi Raiders.
David Olvera to Nico Thomas is the 3rd Moonlight Ballroom touchdown for your San Antonio Gunslingers tonight as they take a 20-7 lead over the Mississippi Raiders here in Mississippi tonight. Jonathan Taylor gets set to kick off. Ball falls off the tee. Everybody breathes a sigh and waits for everything to get reset. It's always a little anticlimactic when the ball falls off the tee.
The ball falls over, yeah.
Jonathan Taylor got the ball lined up on that tee now. He will kick the ball off. Looks like it'll go out of bounds again.
Right about the same spot as the last time.
Going out right about the 16, 17-yard line.
Well, let's see where they spot it this time.
That time much more obvious that it went out at the 16 or 17-yard line.
And yet it's still going to the 20. So
they are going to place the ball at the 20-yard line. That's where the Mississippi Raiders will start the game.
That must be by rule.
The drive.
Yes. Yep, that must be by rule then if the kick goes out of bounds.
I'd kick it out of bounds every time then.
You know what? In arena football, that may not be the worst strategy.
Yeah. First and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Mississippi Raiders as they attempt to get back in this game. Cam Myers, your quarterback, as Trey Shaw went out in the last drive, and he's got pressure in his face. And everybody had a shot at that ball.
Yeah, that was a good play by the defender.
Number 21.
Which is, I'm still trying to see who that is on our lineup here. I don't think we have.
I don't have a 21 on my roster.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger. We'd probably know him if we saw him face to face. Second down for the Raiders.
He turned around just in time to kind of get his hand out and make that play.
20-yard line. Cam Myers sends his receiver in motion, drops back to pass, and he's got pressure all over him again.
Jonathan Taylor again.
This is the kind of pressure we really expected to see in the first game against the North Texas Bulls. We have on the San Antonio Gunslingers, some pass rushers that are pretty good. Problem is the North Texas Bulls have a dominant offensive line.
Right.
And I think you're seeing the difference here tonight.
Seeing the difference, definitely seeing the difference here tonight between the offensive lines.
3rd and 22 coming up all the way back on the 8-yard line. Cam Myers still struggling right now to find some footing on this offense. He has not had much luck since he's had to enter the game. Tosses the ball out to Tavarius McCormick. Tavarius McCormick gets some good yardage.
Yeah, he tried to make a hurdle there for to keep going, but the defender, I didn't catch who that was able to grab him by the ankles and make sure he made the tackle right there.
4th down and 13.
You certainly saw that burst, though, and that speed from McCormick.
4th down and 13. Cam Myers takes the snap, drops back, gets the ball out, and a nifty move by Jordan Gandy with a spin move that will take the ball all the way to the end zone and keep this game in striking distance for the Mississippi Raiders. Just a spectacular play by Jordan Gandy as he secures possession of the ball, spins out of the potential tackle, and runs all the way into the end zone, Leo.
Yeah, good play by Gandy coming in. You know, we were expecting the fireworks from McCormick, but so far it's been Gandy, the offensive weapon at wide receiver for the Raiders. Really good move there, and he seemed really to emphasize that touchdown, throwing the ball almost halfway across the field in celebration.
Tristan Reynolds lines up for the extra point. They are confident in their kicker, and they're going to take the points where they can get them. Ball is snapped, held, kicked, no good.
I don't think he got that one, yeah. Just wide right.
He's going to miss that kick, and they're not going to be able to take that point. That means the score will stay 20-13 here in the second quarter as the San Antonio Gunslingers now have a lead and possession of the ball. Exactly the situation that they would want to see as we begin to move towards halftime of this game, Leo.
Right, we learned in the first game that it's key to have the lead at halftime, especially if depending on possession of the ball. So if the Gunslingers can take advantage here and get a little bit of a pad on their lead to prevent the Raiders from being in a good position with them getting the ball first. Can't quite tell on the game clock how much time is left in this quarter.
Our current clock on our broadcast says 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Jonas doing his best to keep up with the game clock, so that's fairly close to accurate. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the first half of the game. Jaleel Ali and Khalil Rashad. No, it is not Khalil Rashad down there. Number 12. Yes, Khalil Rashad
back there. Yeah.
And Jaleel Ali. I had that right, Leo. Why did you correct me?
Why did you second guess yourself?
Tristan Reynolds will set up for the kickoff. Kicks the ball deep into the goal. And they get a point because that's the way the game is played.
That is a score. You're right. One point.
Now, how interesting, How interesting that he misses an extra point from just a handful of yards away, goes down and sets up 58 yards away, and knocks it right through the upright to secure that point back. Way to make up for the missed kick by hitting the much longer kick. It's almost like he said, you know, that's too easy. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. San Antonio Gunslingers will set up on the 5-yard line. David Olvera has Sean Mueller in the backfield, who will go into motion. Ball is snapped. Clean pocket. Sean Mueller makes the catch at the 23, 24, 23-yard line.
Yep, 23 looks like of the Mississippi Raiders.
That'll set up another Devil's River Whiskey first down for the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Good route by Mueller. He kind of planted and cut out, and the defensive back couldn't keep up with him. He was able to get just enough to get wide open, and Olvera hit him.
2 minutes and 10 seconds or so coming up here in the game. Gunslingers break the huddle. Sean Mueller again, your deep back. William Richardson playing that fullback position again, and it looks like we're going to have a
timeout
stoppage in play, but it's not a timeout. At least I have not seen a signal from a referee that tells me it's a timeout. We are going to go ahead and restart play now. David Olvera, Sean Mueller deep, William Richardson in the backfield with him. Olvera out to Nico Thomas, who's already made his presence felt in the game, and he gets another 8 yards, maybe 9.
Yeah, he's just short of the first down.
Second down and 1, all the way down on the 14-yard line for Nico Thomas. Certainly making his presence felt here in the first half of this game. 2 touchdowns already for Nico Thomas.
Nico Thomas has had a great game so far.
Whistle was the 1-minute warning earlier, we believe. So as our clock here on the broadcast ticks past 1 minute, just know that we are in the final minute of the first half. David Olvera sends Nate Mason to motion, drops back to pass, gets the ball out to Armon Lott, who is able to get the first down, but only gets up to the 10-yard line. That will set up a first down and goal, question mark?
Looks like they're setting the
From
ball
the
at the
10-yard
10-yard line. So it'll be first and goal, Devil's River Whiskey first down.
Timeout San Antonio, preserving the time on the clock so that they can score again before time runs out on them. Looking over on the sideline to see if I see Trey Shaw anywhere, and I'm not sure that I do. I see Cam Myers, but I'm not sure I see Trey Shaw. Trey Shaw exits the game about midway through the first half after a pretty solid hit from the San Antonio Gunslingers. And we'll get ready for play here as the clock winds down here on the first half. David Olvera, first down and goal for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Receiver in motion, Olvera drops back. A little bit of hand fighting, and Nico Thomas,
wow,
catches
strong play.
The ball again for his third Moonlight Ballroom touchdown of the game of the first half. Nico Thomas, 3 touchdowns in 1 half. I think he'll take it.
For sure. Olvera threw that ball a little high. Nico jumped up and made the catch, and the defender tried to make contact with him and knock that ball loose, but Nico Thomas with the strong hands, the strong play into the wall, maintained possession of the ball, and that's a Moonlight Ballroom touchdown.
Yep. 26-14, 2-point conversion pending for the San Antonio Gunslingers. William Richardson in the backfield, back behind David Olvera.
Let's see what the big guy does here.
Olvera will snap the ball and hand it to William Richardson. He will be tackled, but there's a flag on the play.
I'm sure that's not how Boss Hogg envisioned his first carry.
William Richardson not really happy with that first carry as he begins to walk off the field and realizes, oh, wait, we may get to play again. Coach Quentin Humphreys making sure he knows they are waving off the penalty. No penalty on the play. 2-point conversion, no good. 26-14 will remain your score as your San Antonio Gunslingers will get set to kick off, giving the Mississippi Raiders, according to the game clock that I can see, only a couple of seconds. A little hard to see the scoreboard here. Not quite as hard to see the scoreboard that we had set up in the Rose Palace, but not far off of that.
Just slightly better.
The red numbers on the scoreboard. Has it been on? Jonas says that hasn't really worked right for a while, so again, we're operating without a truly solid game clock. We know we're in the final minute of the half, I'm sorry. As Jonathan Taylor kicks the ball off, keeping this one in bounds, and it'll be returned by number 21, Destin Porter, down to the 21-yard line.
He's across midfield.
Yeah, he's at the 21 of the Gunslingers. You're right, Philip. Kicking the ball out of bounds might be this is evidence here, might be the smarter strategy.
And the half will end there. Apparently that was pretty close to right. I said 2 seconds. The clock didn't move, but I said 2 seconds, and that kickoff was the end of our half. So the half will end with the Gunslingers taking a 26-14 lead into the locker room. We'll be right back with Gunslingers Game Day Football right after this. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, ARENA. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by CryoFit. CryoFit TPC is San Antonio's leading recovery and wellness facility, specializing in whole-body cryotherapy, vitamin therapy, IV supplementation, infrared sauna, and much more. Home to your San Antonio Gunslingers, CryoFit focuses on increasing athletic performance, reducing recovery time, and pioneering prevention. The faster you recover, the harder you can train. Come experience the many benefits of CryoFit TPC. Follow them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit their website, www.mycryofit.com. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Alamo Brewery. Alamo Brewery is San Antonio's premium production brewery. Alamo makes numerous styles of beers that are brewed specifically for our San Antonio beer palates. Look for all these beers in your neighborhood grocery store and at your favorite restaurants and bars. Alamo Brewery proudly supports the Gunslingers. Look for Gunslinger-specific labels on some Alamo Amber cans and Alamo Listo Light cans when it's time to buy your next beer. San Antonio Gunslingers football. We're at halftime, and the Gunslingers have a 26-14 lead over the home Mississippi Raiders. Much better feeling at halftime of this game for the San Antonio Gunslingers than the halftime of the first home game there, where they went into the locker room with a 4-point deficit, I believe.
Yeah, they were down.
Down only by a possession, but down. Instead, they go in with a two-possession lead. They've got to feel better about that, Leo.
For sure. And, you know, the game so far has been a game of kind of miscues and quick strikes. The Gunslingers have put together some good things offensively, some impressive drives. And on defense, they've given up very little, just a couple of quick strikes. Both scores were off some opportune moments, both to wide receiver Gandy of the Mississippi Raiders. Pretty impressed with what we saw from the defense outside of those two plays. If they can just kind of figure out a way to contain Gandy, I know things are a little bit going to be a little bit tougher for Mississippi right now with their backup quarterback. But very impressive first half for the Gunslingers, and I still think it wasn't their best half of football yet that we're yet to see.
Yeah, Jordan Gandy definitely the player of the game for the Mississippi Raiders up to this point. Not what we were expecting to see. We were actually expecting to see Tavarius McCormick be that difference maker. Jordan Gandy has stepped into that role and been the difference maker. But really the change came for the Mississippi Raiders, who were able to sort of hold their own against the Gunslingers until their starting quarterback, Trey Shaw, took a hard hit there in the early part of the second quarter. And when that happened, things changed for the Raiders and for the Gunslingers, as the Gunslingers started getting more pressure on the backup, Cam Myers. And other than a couple of quick strikes, one specifically to Gandy, there has not been a lot to speak of offensively with Cam Myers. I don't expect that to continue in the second half as they go in and retool their offense for Cam Myers. They're going to come out and have an offensive plan together for Cam.
They're going to make some adjustments for sure. I do think the Gunslingers need to be ready and be on their toes for that defensively. And offensively, I think they need to just kind of get a little bit more under control. I think they've done some good things, but there have been some just slight miscues on offense that I think just kind of tighten up things a little bit here, a little bit there. I think they could be a little bit more successful even than what they were in the first half.
Well, as our friend Joe Buck would say, we'll welcome you into the broadcast booth. Isn't that what I'm supposed to say there, Jonas? A rare opportunity for you to see us, and now you see why the cameras aren't always pointed this way.
Right.
As the lights have gone down here at halftime, here in the Forrest County Multipurpose Center, it is truly a multipurpose center, and they have an area called the Crow's Nest. They have a band up on the Crow's Nest right now that is performing for the crowd who is milling around. A crowd of about 1,000 people here in Mississippi watching the home opener for the Raiders. Leo, what did you see? We talked about the Raiders and what some of their issues may have been there in the first half. What have you seen different from the Gunslingers as they've come into a game this week? Very different situation in a lot of different aspects from their game they came into at home against the North Texas Bulls with Tony Hernandez as their head coach and James Stoltz calling the defense. All of those things are different this week. What have you seen as a difference in this game?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason for some of those miscues I'm talking about because of all the changes. But the Gunslingers really have done well. I think the offensive line is not that they struggled last week, but they're really controlling the line of scrimmage right now. I think Olvera has played a very solid first half. He's been able to kind of look at his receivers, analyze what he's seeing down the field, look down the field, and make the plays. He's not scrambling so much. He had one opportunity where he scrambled and was able to avoid pressure, and had opportunity to run and didn't run. So you see the growth of the quarterback there a little bit. You know, we've talked before about the inexperience of both Olvera and Mace, the quarterbacks for the Gunslingers, but you kind of have seen the progression just from game 1 to game 2 here for Olvera, and I think things are starting to come a little bit better together. They're starting to kind of click, and I expect to see more of that in the second half.
Scoring for the Gunslingers has worked out this way. Olvera to Nico Thomas, Olvera to Ansel Dua, Olvera to Nico Thomas, Olvera to Nico Thomas. I am not stuck in a loop. That is just the way the game has gone. Nico Thomas dragging in 3 touchdown passes. David Ansel Dua dragging in his own as an offensive lineman, which we love to see. And then Chris Bustamante squeaking in the end zone for a 2-point conversion, giving the Gunslingers their 26 points here in the first half. So in the second half, what kind of adjustments do you see the Raiders being we talked about this last week, 2 possessions begins to become something that you get nervous about.
Absolutely.
In arena football. They are 2 possessions down. What kind of, if you're the head coach, if you're Coach Germany in the locker room, what are you pointing to as adjustments your team can make?
Well, Gandy has been the spark for them offensively. I don't expect them to go away from him. I think that they're going to continue to try and feed him the ball, get him the ball. He's fast and physical, as we've seen. McCormick was the guy that we kind of had our eye on coming in here, knowing the speed and explosiveness that he has. And on one play, his one reception, we saw a bit of that. So I wouldn't say we can completely ignore McCormick at this point. And in fact, if I was the head coach, I might be drawing up something early for McCormick, thinking that that's what the Gunslingers won't be expecting. So they need to be on their toes, defending those wide receivers, Gandy and McCormick.
So you're saying, if you're head coach Germany, as you come out of the locker room, you're going to set up a play that says, let's see who they're going to key on.
Right.
Let's see if they're going to key on McCormick and keep letting us have Gandy, thinking that McCormick is going to be our adjustment. Or let's see if they're going to key on Gandy and leave McCormick available for us to do some things with. I think that's a great way to look at things. Gandy has been the difference maker up to this point. McCormick has the ability to be a difference maker. So as they come out of the locker room, test them and test that Gunslingers defense and see what they're going to do, provided you can protect your quarterback, Cam Myers, long enough for him to get the ball to either of those guys.
I was just going to say, just as the pressure is going to be on the defensive backs for the Gunslingers, all the pressure on the second half is going to be on Cam Myers, because he's got to get the ball to those wide receivers. He has been under a tremendous amount of pressure thus far, since he's come in, taking some sacks, a lot of negative yardage. Almost at one point he was playing out of his end zone on 4th and long. So, yeah, a lot of pressure on Myers. We'll see if he's up to the task in the second half.
No update on Trey Shaw. We don't expect really to get one, but we also don't expect to see Trey Shaw back in the second half. As he walked off the field, it certainly, and I don't want to speculate. I'm not going to speculate as to what the injury is, but it did not look like an injury that he will be taking the field again tonight after.
I wouldn't expect him to be back. I'd be really surprised if I saw him on the field in the second half.
We're going to take another quick break as we move through halftime here in the Forrest County Multipurpose Center in Hallettsville. That's not where we are. We're in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, home of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, home of the Gunslinger.
The Gunslinger himself.
Brett Favre. As we move through halftime here, we're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day Football. Stick with us.
Where's the bang dang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Prince Automobiles. Prince Automobiles, conveniently located at 6355 Montgomery Drive in San Antonio, is your full-service independent automobile dealership that sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. They have financing and warranties available. Call them at 210-850-7125 to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online right now at princeautomobiles.com. Architect Outdoor Living, where we bring your outdoor living ideas to life. Architect is a deck and patio design and installation company that offers custom designs that can incorporate various amenities and features that go beyond just decks and patios. They can build just about any outdoor structure you have in mind. Their contractors are all trained, licensed, and certified. Contact your local architect agent to complete a complimentary design consultation or go online to architect.com. Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by the Smoking Guns Podcast. Smoking Guns Podcast is your one and only source for information and analysis on the San Antonio Gunslingers. Every week, Philip, Leo, and RC will take you inside the Gunslingers as they battle their way through the West Division of the American Arena League. Find all their episodes online at smokinggunspod.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. The 210 got something to say.
Look at that. You get us covered up by a graphic, and the graphic ends up being us. Smoking Guns Podcast is a great place to get all of your information about the San Antonio Gunslingers. We have some more information that we will go into on Monday's show. We record on Monday. It will be out on Wednesday. Monday's show about coaching changes.
Yep.
Coaching change, and then a coaching change for this week, with James Stoltz being unable to make it out here to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Check in on that show. Monday, we record. Wednesday, that show comes out. And we tend to like to go live lately, so we might be live on Monday. No promises.
For some reason, we're just taking lots of opportunities to show our faces lately. I don't know
We like
why.
to be live. We like people to see us. It's what you pay for. So, it's what your money goes toward. And, if you paid more money, you'd get better things to look at. That's the way things work. We are excited to bring Gunslingers football, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, I think is what we talked about last week.
Right.
In that first game at San Antonio Rose Palace. Hey, speaking of San Antonio Rose Palace, we're going to be back at the Palace in just 9 days from today. On the 29th, the Austin Wild will head down I-35, will meet us in the Rose Palace, and the San Antonio Gunslingers will take on the Austin Wild at 7:30 p.m. kickoff. That's a Monday night. Monday Night Football is back.
Monday Night Football in San Antonio, the
For
battle
sure.
of the breakfast tacos.
Yeah, no. It's just not.
That's not going to catch on.
It's just not a battle. Tickets are available right now. Go to SanAntonioGunslingers.com. Order your tickets online. Just a great we're trying to pack the Palace. Had 2,200 people there for the first home game. We'd love to see 3,000 people there as we move through the season. We'll see you out at the Palace on the 29th as the Gunslingers take on the Austin Wild. Here during halftime, they drug a fan out onto the field. They put him on the 5-yard line and said, hey, if you can kick a field goal, you win a prize. He got a lot closer than I ever could.
Oh, for sure. Just barely missed to the left. It was really close. I wonder if someone was holding their breath on some prize they were going to have to pay out in the very first game.
For sure. Gunslingers out on the field. Raiders out on the field. We are getting ready to start the second half of this game. And unfortunately, that means you don't get to look at us anymore because there's other more interesting things to look at as the San Antonio Gunslingers come out of the locker room, begin to warm up. The Raiders begin to discuss how they're going to come back from this 12-point deficit. It's a 12-point deficit, Leo. That's not insurmountable.
No.
They're not out of this game. The Gunslingers haven't won anything yet. There's no reason to think that this game is over. And yet you do get a sense, really just kind of reading body language, the Gunslingers seem relaxed and ready for the second half. The Raiders look a little on edge.
Right. I noticed the same thing as they came out of their locker room. The Mississippi Raiders didn't seem as electrified as they did to start the game. They know that they're in a tough position right here where they need to score, because if they don't score and keep within a possession or two of the Gunslingers, that's a really, really tall task to come back from being down 3 possessions in arena football.
What kind of adjustments are the Raiders going to make? Well, I think we see the first one right off the bat as they take their formation on the field to recover the kick, and there is no one deeper than the 15-yard line on the Raiders side of the ball. They know Jonathan Taylor is not going to be kicking the ball deep over their heads. They are set up for an out-of-bounds kick or a short kick. They've learned something already about the way this game is going to be played, at least as far as the kicks are concerned.
Yep, they saw that from the first half. We know Jonathan Thomas is not the full-time kicker for the Gunslingers. He's filling in because Manny couldn't make the trip this week. And so far, his ball has gone right to about the 15-yard line, not always in the field of play, but that's about the extent of the kicks that he's had so far in the first half. We'll see what happens here to start the second.
Raiders deferred in the first half when they won the coin toss. That gives them the right to take the second half kickoff. So they will start with the ball and work on their 12-point deficit. Taylor's kick goes down to the 9 or so, but the return from Dustin Porter will take the ball all the way across midfield and down to the 20-yard line, setting up great field position for the Mississippi Raiders as they come out and start the second half.
Yep, nice return by Mississippi. Like we said, the pressure's on. They really have to score this first possession in order to kind of stay within striking distance where they can win this ball game. So we'll see what they come out with. Their backup quarterback still under center.
Cam Myers lining up at quarterback, deep in a shotgun. He sends his receiver into motion, drops back to pass. Quick pass, held on to. That is
same guy, Gandy.
Jordan Gandy holds on to the ball, gets about 6 yards, setting up a 2nd and 4. And that's exactly the kind of play you needed to start this drive out with. Positive yardage, get in front of the chains, keep moving forward.
Get a little confidence for your quarterback, to get him in a rhythm. That's definitely something they need.
Cam Myers again back in his shotgun position. No receiver in motion. And he throws out quickly, and the ball is incomplete, setting up a 3rd down. And a little bit of pushing and
shoving.
chippiness
there, yeah.
Dustin Porter taking some umbrage to something that was said or done from the Gunslinger side of the ball. No laundry on the field, just guys that are passionate about football and frustrated with the way that play went. 3rd down and 4. Cam Myers setting up in the shotgun position again. No receiver in motion. Snaps the ball. Tosses out to Jordan Gandy. Jordan Gandy is put in the wall. Short of the line to gain? No, he may have gained a yard.
I think he got about a yard on that play. Looks like they're doing some quick strikes here to get the ball out of Myers' hands rather quickly to avoid the pressure that the Gunslingers' defensive line continues to bring. So now they find themselves 4th down.
4th and 4 on the 13-yard line. Mississippi Raiders need to convert this so that they continue to have a chance to keep. Ooh, high snap. Cam Myers does a great job bringing it down and races Cody Brooks out to the first down stick and just stretches out to grab the first down. And that is the first time I've seen Cam Myers play football like I feel like he knows how to play football.
Right.
It was instinctual. He looked where he needed to look, and then he took off when the pressure was on him. He looked more comfortable there than I've seen him any other time tonight.
You can definitely see him get more confident. He had Jonathan Taylor right in his face and made a move and was able to get away. And get
No
that first
receiver
down.
in motion. Ken Myers drops back to pass. He's again got pressure right on top of him. He's not going to escape this time, as Eric England is going to drag him down.
Loss on the play. It'll be second down for the Raiders.
And we'll have a second down and goal all the way back at the same 13-yard line.
A lot of white jerseys getting in the backfield there, getting the pressure on Myers. And England was the last one there to get him and drag him down.
Little
Loss.
chippiness right after the play there again. You're going to see referees take control of this game here shortly if that continues from both of these teams. Cam Myers dropped back in that real deep shotgun formation. He takes the ball, and again, looking more comfortable. He kind of sidearms the ball out toward the end zone, doesn't complete the pass. That'll be a third down and goal from the 12-yard line. Not a great throw there.
Yeah, looking for Dustin Porter in the end zone there. Not a good pass, off target, off to the side. He's lucky that there wasn't any white jerseys around because that could have gone the other way.
He did seem to kind of sidearm it to keep it low, to keep it from getting tipped up in the air and causing some sort of, I mean, I think he was thinking through, I don't want this to go anywhere really bad.
Throw it away then.
Yeah, absolutely. Kim Myers starting to get more comfortable, but still struggling a little. Snaps the ball, drops back, and he's got pressure on him once again. This time he's going to be dragged down by number 16.
16. I don't have a
He's
16
not
on the
my roster.
That's another one we don't have. Apologize for that, but
Fourth and goal from the 16-yard line. And this is do or die time for the Raiders. Oh, they are going to kick. They are sending out Tristan Reynolds for a field goal. What will end up being about a 20, well, he's at the 23-yard line. It'll be about a 31-yard attempt for a field goal. Tristan Reynolds trying to score 3 points and at least knock this lead down a little bit. Ball is snapped, hold is down, kick is up, and it is going to be good.
it's good. Still inside the uprights, just over the net.
That is,
Oh, there's a
oh,
flag.
there's a flag on the play, so maybe the score doesn't change just yet. Here in the arena, they are crediting just 1 point for the kick. I don't believe that's correct. You don't see a lot of field goal attempts in arena football, but I'm almost sure
Yeah. Oh, no, they're picking up the flag.
they're going to wave off the flag, which means the field goal is good. And we're going to go with a 26-17 lead. And now they fixed the in-arena scoreboard to match our score here, 26-17. We're not always ahead of them, but when we are, we're going to point it out because we're proud of that. San Antonio Gunslingers holding them to 3 points. So a 9-point lead for the Gunslingers, and they get the ball back.
Yeah,
That's a win. I mean, ultimately,
holding them to 3 is, yeah, that's a win for the defense. That's a win in arena football, especially if the offense can capitalize on this possession and put more points, lengthening that lead. That'll put them in even better position. Mississippi's really in a tight spot here where they have to get stops in order to have hope to win this game.
Mississippi lines up the kick. I noticed that while James Stoltz couldn't be here in Mississippi, he is blowing up your phone right now.
Yes, he is. He
for
wants to know
information
what's
about the
going on.
game. James, take care of that baby. And you'll get a chance to watch the game. Well, you're watching the game right now because you just heard me say that. The kick goes into the American flag, not into the ceiling, but into the American flag that hangs about midfield. Actually, it hangs right over the 20-yard line of the San Antonio Gunslingers. The ball will be placed on that spot, and that's where the Gunslingers will take over. That's the downside to hanging that flag right up there in the rafters like that, huh?
Yep, that's true. The ball went right into the flag. He's missed that flag the last few kicks just off to the right, but now maybe that the field is flipped. Now it's coming a little bit more towards this side of the field and actually hit the flag this time.
San Antonio Gunslingers first possession of the second half. David Olvera setting up his offense, sending his receiver Sean Mueller into motion, taking a snap, and he's got pressure right in his face, and he is going to go down at the 10-yard line. There were flags on the play before the pressure ever got to David Olvera. Let's see if the Raiders got a quick jump.
Yeah, maybe they jumped. I'm not sure. But yeah, there were two black jerseys right in his face before he had anything he had a chance to do anything.
Looks like they're talking to Coach Chito Gonzalez about an alignment issue. I think that's going to be a penalty against the Gunslingers, which, of course, the Raiders will deny, and that's what Coach Germany is signaling now. Yep, looks like an illegal shift, and so it will be second down and 20 from the 10-yard line of the San Antonio Gunslingers. All credit to the Mississippi Raiders on that particular play. Lots of pressure in Olvera's face, nowhere to go, as it kind of clamped in on him from the left and right before he really had a chance to even know it was coming.
Yeah, he really had no shot on that play. Looked like Caleb Roller might have been the guilty one to let the pressure through. Hopefully the line holds up a little bit better the second down.
Olvera sends his receiver into motion, takes the snap, gets the ball out to Khalil Rashad, and Khalil Rashad is going to get about 10 yards back to the original line of scrimmage.
He is stopped by number 32, Justin Jackson.
Yeah, I think he got back to the original line of scrimmage. That's the first time we've called his name in a while after having a really big game the first game.
Difference maker in the game for the San Antonio Gunslingers has been Nico Thomas, number 9. As I look into the huddle now, I'm not sure Nico Thomas is on the field at the moment. Yes, he is. There he is. He was hiding. David Olvera back in a shotgun. Receiver in motion. And the ball is snapped. Back out to Khalil Rashad. He's going to get 5 yards, and he's going to be suplexed right about there. They're going to give him 6 yards. It's going to be a 4th down and 4 for the San Antonio Gunslingers.
I think they're being kind to him on forward progress there. I'm not sure he got the 6 yards, but yeah, that was a wrestling move tackle.
I am looking right down the line of where he was tackled, and they gave him a yard and then some.
Yeah.
On that particular, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
But I'm going to tell you right now that that spot is not accurate. 4th down and 4.
Key 4th down for both teams.
And Coach Chito Gonzalez trying desperately to call a timeout and finally gets that timeout in. We're going to take the timeout with him. This is San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day Football. Keep it right here. Gunslingers football right here on your social media all over the place. We'd love to be with you live tonight. We're pretending we're live with you.
Yeah, well, as they're watching this, it's almost like a live delivery of the action in front of us.
Gunslingers have a 9-point lead, 26-17. The Gunslingers are facing a 4th down and 4 on the Raiders' 23-yard line. David Olvera is going to send his receiver into motion, and then he's going to get the ball out to who?
Who else?
Nico Thomas is going to secure a Devil's River Whiskey first down for the San Antonio Gunslingers, and they're going to set up with first and goal at the 10-yard line. Nico Thomas making his presence felt tonight. Not that he didn't in game 1, but he has really come out on another level tonight
Well, you see
for David Olvera.
You see the difference here. If you look at the defense of the Mississippi Raiders and you look at their defensive backs particularly, they're a little bit on the small side, and Nico is the big receiver.
Olvera sends a receiver in motion, hands off to Callaway. Callaway is going to see some positive yardage, which on the running side is not something we've seen, and he's going to fight his way all the way down to the 1-yard line, maybe the 2. They're going to spot him at the 2. There's that yard they gave us extra that they're going to take back there. That's going to set us up with 2nd down and goal on the 2-yard line.
And Callaway comes away from that play saying, keep feeding me. That was a power run right there. He had the entire Mississippi defense trying to bring him down, and he just wouldn't go down.
Yeah, all 8 black jerseys wrapped around him, pulling him down, and he was able to affect still about 3 yards out of that before he went down. Second down and goal from the 2-yard line. Gunslingers attempting to keep their lead at 2 possessions. Olvera swings the ball out to Bustamante, who trips and falls forward into the end zone for a Moonlight Ballroom touchdown. As Chris Bustamante, I started listening to our
the
PA announcer
here. Yeah.
say it at the same time I did, and he got me. I think he was trying to get me too.
Great play by Bustamante. The ball was actually thrown behind him. He reached back to make the catch, and as he reached back, he stumbled on his heels, falling, but he fell backward and made sure he fell into the end zone, trying hard not to fall into the wall before he actually crossed the goal line, and he was successful at that. Great play.
6 more points, 32-17 for the Gunslingers.
Delay a game is called against San Antonio.
Delay a game on San Antonio on the 2-point conversion, so they will have to back up a few yards before they get to try for 2 points. And I don't want to blame anybody, but I know that Chris Bustamante, in his euphoria from that touchdown, headed all the way out to the Gunslingers bench, which is on the opposite side of the field, all the way down in the other end zone, and then had to run back to catch on, and that may have been part of the reason that the Gunslingers did not take the line as quickly as they needed to. Bustamante deep. He'll be the receiver in motion as William Richardson stands beside David Olvera. David Olvera, quick throw out to Kali Rashad, who was open.
He had him.
But he didn't see it coming, and Olvera did not put it right on him, and that will be a 2-point conversion that will not be converted. Leaving the score at 32-17.
Yeah, Olvera missed him. He was open, and the ball was thrown behind him. I don't know if it was because of the route that was run, but Rashad was open. So 2 points left on the field there, but nonetheless, a comfortable lead by the Gunslingers, 32-17.
5th touchdown for Olvera, 5th touchdown for the San Antonio Gunslingers, but the 4th missed 2-point conversion attempt of the game for them. They have only converted on one of those 2-point conversions. If you're Coach Q watching this film later and you need an area to clean up, that might be an area to clean up. Leaving points on the board like that is not what you want to see.
Yep, true. Those are hard to convert, though. And
Taylor kicks and gets his deepest kick of the game all the way down to the end zone.
Surprise the
And
Raiders.
they're going to run it out of the end zone.
Oh.
And he is going to be taken down at the 2-yard line. I'm not sure where the touchback goes. We've had this conversation already in game 1. I think it comes out to the 5, but it might even be the 10. Wherever it comes out, it's beyond the 2.
The 2.
He should have kneeled that ball down. Although they touched the ball. Did they touch the ball as it flew over?
I don't think so. I think it bounced in. I don't think it got touched until it was in the end zone. But nonetheless, he's regretting that decision coming out. And, yeah, they got caught off guard with that one because that by far is the longest kick by the Gunslingers so far this game.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor really put all of his foot into that.
Yeah.
And the Raiders caught off guard. And now they have a long field to work with. Not always a bad thing in the arena game. As Cam Meyer sends his receiver into motion, but feels pressure in the end zone. And he's going to go down. And that sack is going to be a safety. And that's going to add 2 points to the score for your San Antonio Gunslingers, making the score 34-17 and giving the Gunslingers an opportunity on offense with the ball yet again. All started by a kick and a decision by the Raiders to bring their coverage up because Jonathan Taylor had not been kicking over their head all night. The one time he did, now we have a big swing in this particular game.
Big play. Myers got the snap and had Jonathan Taylor up all in his face and managed to escape the pressure, but he escaped right into Cody Brooks, who just demolished him on the other side of the end zone for the safety. Big play for the Gunslingers. 2 points on the board. There's the 2 points they left on the field from that failed 2-point conversion, and now they're getting the ball back with an opportunity to pile on that lead.
34-17 is the Gunslingers lead currently. And they are looking to add to that with another offensive possession here in the third quarter of tonight's game from Mississippi. The Raiders lining up the ball on the tee. Tristan Reynolds ready to kick that ball off and miss the American flag this time. And there the ball goes. He keeps it nice and low. It bounces right into the hands of Ali. And Ali is demolished at the 11-yard line. One of the harder hits you're going to see on kick return. They're going to give him an extra yard and say it was at the 12.
They like giving us extra yards.
I mean, we'll take them
all
day long. I'm not an official.
Jaleel Ali stopped, looked like he wanted to cut the other direction and go upfield. Didn't quite see where the hole was that he could cut through, and then he just got taken down.
San Antonio Gunslingers really have an opportunity here to take control of this game.
Yes, if they score here.
A touchdown here would put them at 40 points to the Mississippi Raiders 17 points. Definitely makes you feel like you've got this game in hand if you're able to put this ball in the end zone. David Olvera will send his receiver into motion, drop back, pass to Sean Mueller, the receiver in motion, who spins and gets all the way down to the Mississippi Raiders 22-yard line, 21-yard line, 21.5-yard line. They put that right in between those. It's going to give the San Antonio Gunslingers another Devil's Whiskey. First down.
Mueller came across the field on that route, and I think he caught the turf, which slowed him down. But Olvera was still able to hit him right on target. Olvera's played a good game.
It's Devil's River Whiskey. That's why I fumbled over that.
Whiskey. First down.
Olvera dropping back, looking deep. Flag on the play. Ball is caught right about the 1 or 2 yard line, but there was a flag during the play. Let's adjudicate that before we decide exactly what's going to happen. Well, the ball's already being brought back.
And the Stripes are discussing.
for their first game in stripes for the American Arena League. This crew's done a fairly good job.
First down.
And that's going to move the ball.
Penalty against the Raiders is declined.
It
The
was,
penalty against the Raiders, which was a pass interference penalty? Is that what that signal was?
I'm not sure. But, yeah, the Gunslingers declined it. I didn't see pass interference if it was on the play where the ball went to.
Another Devil's River whiskey. First down on the 2-yard line. First and goal for the San Antonio Gunslingers, attempting to really kind of start salting this game away here in the third quarter. David Olvera, shotgun, lined up just directly behind him is Chris Bustamante, who gets the handoff, attempts a stiff arm, loses a helmet, which is going to be a penalty. Hard to say you didn't tackle a guy by his helmet when it's dangling off your fingers at the end of the play.
Yeah, definitely an illegal tackle, grabbing it by around the collar, around the helmet.
Personal
Bustamante.
foul, face mask on the Raiders. That will move the ball about a yard and will give the San Antonio Gunslingers another Devil's River whiskey. First down on the 1-yard line. First and goal. Olvera under center, and he will rush in himself,
The keeper.
diving over the goal line and scoring a touchdown. Olvera for 6, and that makes the score 40-17 with a 2-point try up or a point after upcoming. But since we've seen no indication that the Gunslingers will kick, they will have a 2-point conversion upcoming. Olvera's run into the end zone gives him his 6th touchdown of the night, but his first solo one. That was not a pass to anyone else. He took that all himself. Olvera lining up in the shotgun with Bustamante off to his right. Sends a receiver in motion. High snap. Olvera corrals the snap. Falls down to the ground. Stays on the ground. Now he's up.
A little concerned there for a second, the way he laid himself out on the field, but I think it was more out of frustration because the play was a busted play, really, with from the beginning with the high snap.
Flag on the play. And it is declined. It was on the Gunslingers and is declined. Score will stay 40-17. Coach Q runs down and talks to the White Hat for a second to make sure he understands what's going on. And the San Antonio Gunslingers are now firmly in control of this game with a 23-point lead here in the third quarter. Wouldn't you say, Leo?
Absolutely. Tall order to overcome this kind of lead in arena football. We'll see what Mississippi has.
And that is going to be the end of the third quarter. We're going to take a break right here at the end of the third quarter. You're watching San Antonio Gunslingers football right here. Stick with us. San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day is brought to you by G-Force Parking and Striping. Owned and operated by Travis Martin, G-Force San Antonio can handle all of your pavement marking needs. They provide high-end parking lot striping and parking lot marking services in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. G-Force is the #1 parking lot striping and pavement marking business in San Antonio. If you're ready to see results, get in touch with their team today by calling 210-710-1016. Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Admiral Security. Admiral is San Antonio's premier authorized ADT dealer, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands and protecting what matters most all across San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Admiral has a special offer for all you Gunslingers fans. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers will start the fourth quarter. Jeez. Fourth quarter with a 40-17 lead. They will kick the ball deep. And this time it is deep, and the Raiders are ready for it. Attempting to break all the way out. Alex Jackson takes the ball all the way down to the Gunslingers 21-yard line. Great return for Alex Jackson.
Really great return. He
Okay,
looked
that's
like
the end of the third quarter.
That's the end. He had one guy to beat, but luckily Gunslingers were able to get him down. Still great field position for Mississippi, and if the pressure was on them before to score, to kind of keep up in this, they really have to score right now to keep this game from getting even more out of hand, because as it is right now, this lead is pretty daunting.
Every possession for the Mississippi Raiders will need to be a touchdown.
Yep.
Every possession for the San Antonio Gunslingers will need to be a defensive stop for this game to be manageable.
They'll have to get a couple
for
turnovers.
the Raiders.
Yeah, quick turnovers.
We have not seen turnovers from either team tonight.
Yeah, clean game.
That is unexpected. The San Antonio Gunslingers showed a propensity to turn over the ball in their first game of the season. It's just the truth. They turned over the ball at least 3 or 4 times. The Mississippi Raiders are playing their very first game, which usually leads to some yips that cause turnovers. So to see this clean a game between these two teams.
For sure. Also, a big factor of that we can attribute is
we have a race here. On your mark,
here.
and they go. There you go. That is the fun of professional football on this level, bringing in fans and getting everybody excited about the game. But I got to tell you, if I'm the official of this race we've just seen, you got to wait for the word go.
Yeah.
On your mark is not the thing. On your mark, get set, go. So
they were excited.
They were excited. Fourth quarter starts with a first down on the 21-yard line for the Mississippi Raiders. And again, they are backs against the wall, a 23-point deficit as they enter the fourth quarter. They're going to have to score each and every time they get the ball. They're going to have to limit the Gunslingers to no points to be able to pull within striking distance of this game. Let's see if they're up to it. Their second quarterback, Cam Myers, after Trey Shaw went down in the first half. Myers drops back to pass, throws the ball tipped up in the air. And Darius Banks not able to rush under that ball and secure what would have really been a devastating turnover right after we talked about how clean a game this has been.
Right. From all the way over here, though, across the field on the other side of the stadium, I saw Darius Banks' eyes get big as he tried to track down that ball. He knew it was up there in the air, had been tipped. He tried to get to it, but just couldn't quite get there. But I saw his eyes get big. He knew he had an opportunity to get the turnover and put the game away.
Cam Myers lined up in that deep shotgun that he seems to prefer. Sets his receivers, although his receivers weren't fully set. And there is a flag that flies in, but that would not be an illegal procedure from the offense. That would have stopped the play before it happened, I think. This is going to be a penalty. It looks like my referee is pointing over to the Gunslingers.
Did they rush too many players?
I believe they did. That seems to be what the referee is indicating. So we're going to have a penalty stepped off against the Gunslingers. 5-yard penalty. Sets up. Second down and 5 from the 16-yard line.
You have Callaway in at defensive end right now, and he was able to just bust in the gap there and get into the backfield. And really, there was no chance on that play, but I think we had one too many Gunslingers blitz.
Cam Myers sends his receiver in motion, snaps the ball, finds an open receiver for a first down all the way down at the 8-yard line. That is, of course, Jordan Gandy, really the bright spot for the Mississippi Raiders so far tonight has been Jordan Gandy.
Yep, absolutely been their go-to guy. Haven't seen the big plays so far this half from him, but he's the guy that they're going to when they need to get when they need to move the sticks.
First down and goal on the 9-yard line for the Mississippi Raiders as they attempt to get in the end zone and try to make a manageable game out of this contest. Pitch out to Jude St. Julian, his first touch of the game, and he gets the ball all the way down to the 1, or no, he gets into the end zone. Jude St. Julian, the running back, that is his first touch of the game. In fact, I'm not even sure I've seen him on the field until now. And he takes the ball 9 yards into the end zone to make the score 40-23. Pending the extra point, which they will opt for here. Instead of going for 2, the Mississippi Raiders are going to kick the extra point. Tristan Reynolds lines up the kick. He missed his last extra point attempt, but then came back and kicked the ball through the uprights on the ensuing kickoff to gain that point back. Ball is snapped. Hold is bad.
Snap, busted play, but.
And the Gunslingers are going to put an end to that bid. Snap was good. Slipped out of the hands of Casey Colbert, the holder on the play. It was not a bad snap. That was a bad hold.
You're absolutely right. The snap was put right where the holder should have got that ball and got it down, but it slipped through his hands.
9 times out of 10, when you see that play happen, it is a bad snap. That was not a bad snap. That was a poor hold. Ball a little slippery. It happened once to a guy named Tony Romo. I remember very well. And he had to do exactly the same thing, pick it up and run and hope for daylight. Daylight is not there, and the score will stay 40-23. San Antonio Gunslingers holding on to a 17-point lead. Traditional 11-man outdoor football, this would be the time that the offense would grind the clock and take their time making their way down the field, eating up as much clock as they can. I do not expect arena football to work exactly the same way.
No, probably not.
Tristan Reynolds lines up his kick and kicks it down the field. Nice low kick.
Right to...
but accepted by Kali Rashad, who's still on his feet and has some room. There is a penalty flag back on. There is a penalty flag all the way back at midfield. Kali Rashad dives into the end zone thinking he has a touchdown on a kick return. I'm going to tell him I don't think he does.
Yeah, and a great return, but this is 9
hold on the Gunslingers. That ball will come back all the way to midfield and probably behind that once the penalty is marked off. Kali Rashad, great run.
Absolutely. There's that explosiveness that we had seen in the first game from Kali, and unfortunately there's a hold on the return play that's going to bring it back. Not resulting in points, but it was sure fun to watch and will be fun to see on the broadcast.
That ball, the flag being thrown on the 24-yard line. It will move the ball all the way back to the Gunslingers' 16-yard line. They will take over there. First and 10. And San Antonio will attempt to add to their 17-point lead here in the fourth quarter, as the Gunslingers really have control of this game. We said the Raiders needed to score. We also said they had to limit the Gunslingers to 0 points.
Right.
David Olvera sends his receiver in motion, who stutter steps a little bit And Olvera runs out of time in the pocket, runs up the field for a yard, and is immediately met and stopped.
Stopped by number 4, Tavarius.
I'm sure Olvera wants to avoid those kind of meetings. That was a punishing hit, and as a matter of fact, he's gonna come off, and Nate Mace is gonna come on.
Spot on the field means spot on the field is no gain on the play.
Maybe.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 16. It certainly looked like he got at least a yard out of the play.
I thought so too. It looks
But
like they gave him a foot.
The guys in the striped shirts did not agree with me, and we've talked about that, but they don't want to listen to me. Nate Mace is going to take snap at quarterback, and Nate Mace is going to run, and that run is going to net about 7 yards.
On the scramble, number 6, Nate Mace. He is stopped again by number 4, Tavarius McCormick.
Change of pace here for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Certainly not due to anything that David Olvera has done wrong today, because he hasn't done much wrong today. Nate Mace is going to take the field. He's going to throw down the field and throw the first interception of the game. But there is a flag all the way back,
that may have
and
been a free play.
Nate Mace is going to take down a defender after the whistle. And we're going to see what happens with all of this now. There are people waving both directions, yelling and screaming, fans in the stands, players on both sides of the...
Looks like the defense is coming on the field, though. So it looks like the turnover will stand. Once the turnover happened, I didn't see who it was, the defender from Mississippi decided to take advantage of the situation and put on a physical block on Nate Mace. Mace took exception to that and did a kind of a takedown of the Mississippi player, showing that he wasn't going to take that kind of punishment, I guess. And I'm not sure what the flag was. There was never really an explanation.
Mississippi is going to take the ball 1st and 10 on their own 6-yard line, so they have done what they need to do. They've scored, and they have turned the ball over. Cam Myers is going to pitch the ball out, and the San Antonio Gunslingers defense is going to swarm at the 10-yard line, but that's still going to be a 4-yard gain for the Mississippi Raiders.
For the Raiders, number 20, Jude St. Julian.
Jude St. Julian, the ball carrier on that play. 2nd down and 6 or 7. Call it 7. Cam Myers sends his receiver in motion, takes the snap, looks downfield, delivers the ball.
I think that was off the turf. Yep, they're calling it incomplete.
And it will be incomplete. Ball hit the turf.
Just a little low and behind the receiver. He tried to adjust to make the catch, but I think it went off his hands onto the turf.
3rd down and 7.
Going real quick back to that turnover, I'm not sure what happened because the flag was thrown as the play started. And they never really explained what that was. I thought maybe it was a free play.
Cam Myers drops back to pass. He's got some pressure on him. Throws a long ball, keeps it in bounds, but nowhere near any of his receivers. And so it'll be 4th down and 7.
So Justin, who was that? The receiver for Mississippi.
Dustin Porter.
Porter, thank you. Yeah, he ran a route. It's kind of a stop-and-go route, and I think the quarterback threw expecting him to just run a go route, but he kind of stopped.
San Antonio Gunslingers are flagged for a holding penalty, a defensive holding penalty on the play. That will give the Raiders a 1st down, and the Raiders are sticking in this thing. making the most of what opportunities they have to try to come back on this 17-point deficit.
They're against the clock, though.
However, ball tipped up in the air by the receiver, and the ball comes down in a San Antonio Gunslingers defender's hand. That's a turnover.
Jaleel
Ali has turned the ball over for the Gunslingers, and that is a big, big play. We were just talking about how Mississippi was doing everything they needed to do to stay in this play. The one thing they could not do was turn the ball over and give up an offensive possession, and that is exactly what has happened.
Right.
40-23, the Gunslingers own the lead, a 17-point lead, and they have possession of the ball, looking to add to that lead. Don't look for a grind out the clock kind of offense in the Arena League.
Olveda's back under center for the Gunslingers.
I think that's a good call.
I think so too. He's played a great game.
Nate Mace on the field. He's going to go into motion, actually. Olvera back to pass. Passes out to Armand Lott, who shakes, rattles, and rolls his way about 7 yards up, maybe 6. There is a flag on the play. We'll see what happens with that. Still waiting for a signal from the referee. Coach Germany is also waiting for a referee signal, and he's kind of hot about not getting it.
So the ball's being placed where the play stops, where Armand Lott took the ball to.
I have to assume they have waved off the flag.
Yeah. Either that.
No, I'm sorry. It's
declined.
They read it 1st and 5. That would be a penalty against the Raiders.
Not sure what happened there.
1st and 5. Olvera pitches out to Callaway. Callaway spins, but does not get, in fact, loses a yard. Nifty move by Callaway. Unfortunately, there were Raiders behind that Raider that he was able to spin out of the tackle of. And that goes for a negative gain. I guess there's no such thing as a negative gain, is there?
Loss.
That's a loss, yeah.
A positive loss?
A positive loss, a negative gain. San Antonio Gunslingers have a 2nd and 6 on the 23-yard line. The section right in front of us just got named section of the game, and you can hear them. They're excited about that. Olvera back to pass. And that is swatted down by Charles Barnes, who says, not in my house.
Yeah, he tried to float that over to Bustamante, floated it just a little too much. Barnes made the play on the ball.
And Barnes picking up the ball, hoping that that was a lateral
Backward
instead of a
but
pass, but that's not what we see.
It was forward.
3rd down and 6. San Antonio trying to add to their lead and really kind of salt this game away at this point. 40-23 lead. David Olvera sends his receiver in motion, takes the snap, passes the ball out to who else?
Nico Thomas.
Nico Thomas.
A one-handed grab.
A one-handed grab over his receiver for a touchdown. And Olvera and Thomas have been in sync all night long.
Great grab, great placement by Olvera, right where only Nico could get to the ball. Reached out with his one hand. I think the defensive back had a hold of his other hand, but he, like we've said before, he's shown very strong hands in this game. Was able to bring that ball in with just the one hand for the touchdown. Into the wall, didn't matter. Retained possession, touchdown, Gunslingers. Another Moonlight Ballroom touchdown.
There you go, Leo. 2-point conversion attempt. David Olvera setting up the offense, sending his receiver in motion, taking the snap, handing the ball off to Chris Bustamante, who is unable to get past the defender. And that will leave the score at 46-23 late in the fourth quarter here in Mississippi, as the San Antonio Gunslingers are looking to salt this game away and take their first win of the season.
It looks like that's what's going to happen. I'm not sure how much time is left, but I would say it's an insurmountable lead by this point for Mississippi. We'll see how the rest of this plays out, but it's been getting a little more and more chippy out there. I expect to see more of that.
Our broadcast here, you can see, has about 2 minutes left in the game. That is more or less what the time clock should say. We know the rules and we know how the clock is kept. We're doing our best to keep a clock as close to accurate as we can. Fourth touchdown pass from Olvera to Nico Thomas.
Yep.
They figured something out between the two of them tonight.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think if you look at the defensive backs, they're a little undersized. Nico is the big receiver. He's got some speed, and they've just taken advantage of his size with these big plays.
Fans in San Antonio will be excited to know that I see the fans in Mississippi attempting to start the wave right now. And there's a flag on the play. That'll be a delay of game, I imagine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Raiders on the field. However, they're going to wave that penalty off. And Jonathan Taylor's going to kick the ball off. Good solid kick down to the 6-yard line. It will be returned. And he squeaks through. But at the last possible moment, number 24, which is not Jaleel Ali, although that's what my sheet says, grabs the foot of the returner, turns him down, and keeps that from being a touchdown for the Mississippi Raiders, and they will start with the ball on the 23-yard line with a 1st and 10.
Yeah, not sure. Can't read the back of the jersey from this distance who that was, but definitely saved a quick score.
Cam Myers in his deep shotgun sends his receiver into motion and takes the snap. He'll drop back, and he's feeling pressure, but he's going to escape, and he's going to shuffle the ball out for an incomplete pass before he crosses the line of scrimmage, or just after he crosses the line of scrimmage. In any case, it will be an incomplete pass.
At this point, just trying to conserve time. My guess is because of that play, that means we're in the last minute, because that's the only time where a play like that would stop.
Actually, they've given him, he must not have released that ball. They gave him 3 yards on the play, 2nd down and 7.
Huh.
Cam Myers back to pass. Pressure coming through again. He completes the pass to Jordan Gandy. Jordan Gandy close to the 1st down marker, but not close enough. He's going to be a yard short of a 1st down, setting down a 3rd and 1.
Third and 1 for the Raiders.
Cam Myers sends his receiver in motion, takes the snap, drops back and looks, and
great play by Banks.
Darius Banks all over that play, reaching out and slapping that ball to the ground. Exactly what needed to be done to keep that from being a 1st down or possibly a touchdown. Just a spectacularly athletic play from Darius Banks.
For sure. He broke on that ball, just laid himself out, reached out and broke up the pass right at the last possible second. I think Myers thought maybe he was going to get a score there, but Banks saves it for the Gunslingers.
Myers is taking the run himself with 1 yard to gain. He's going to gain about 6 yards.
On the keeper, number 13, Cam Myers. First down.
And he's going to get a first down, setting up a first down and goal on the 6-yard line.
First and goal to go from the 6-yard line.
As time is ticking away from the Mississippi Raiders, and the Gunslingers feeling confident that they've got this game in the bag.
Sure, but they'd like to keep them out of the end zone for sure at this point, despite having this win all but wrapped up.
Cam Myers takes the snap, pitches the ball out, and it's fumbled. Cam Myers is able to jump back on the ball, secure possession. They'll lose a few yards, but they're entirely okay with that trade-off.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous for Mississippi. That started with that pitch. That pitch was low, and he was able to hold on to it, but as he went down, I'm not sure he ever really had that ball completely secure, and it looks like we have some confusion here on the substitutions for both teams.
2nd down and 8 for the Mississippi Raiders. All credit to Mississippi. We have not seen a lot of first game jitter problems.
No, it's been pretty clean.
San Antonio has just come out and dominated the ball. Myers will take the ball himself and attempt to make something happen. He's not able to do that. He loses another 3 yards.
Eric England, despite being blocked, just powered through that block into the to make that play, with a Mississippi Raider hanging on to him.
Getting a 1-minute warning.
Is this a warning or the timeout?
There is something going. There is a stoppage in play on the field.
Timeout Raiders.
Timeout
Raiders.
By the hometown Raiders as they determine on 2nd down and 10. Shouldn't be 2nd down. Should be 3rd down and 10,
We'd like
right?
to thank all of you fans for being a part of the very first Mississippi Raider Arena football game.
We'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that 9 days from tonight,
Don't forget, we'll be back here
in the San Antonio Rose Palace, the San Antonio Gunslingers will welcome in the visiting Austin Wild. And it's going to be wild, Leo. It's going to be more hard-hitting, fast football action in the San Antonio Rose Palace. Get your tickets now. Go online to sanantoniogunslingers.com. Bring the whole family out Monday night, March 29th. Enjoy some football in San Antonio. Professional football is back in San Antonio. You need to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Pack the Palace.
Raiders set up for their 3rd down play. This ball is tipped up in the air. And the Raiders are lucky that that didn't end up in the hands of a guy in a white jersey. They will set up for a 4th down and 10.
4th and goal for the Raiders.
4th and goal on the 10. It's all the same thing.
Last ditch effort by the Mississippi Raiders here. Try and put some points on the board.
Cam Myers takes the snap. Pressure in his face. Tosses the ball out to a receiver, Tavarius McCormick, who can't keep a hold on it, and they will turn the ball over on downs. San Antonio with a 46-23 lead. That means they have doubled up the Raiders to this point. 23 plus 23 is 46.
For all you math majors out there, that is correct.
I didn't even major in math to figure that one out. 1st and goal on the 10-yard line for the San Antonio Gunslingers as we wind this game down. After a week of adversity, the Gunslingers have lost a head coach. They have not been able to connect with their defensive coordinator here on the road due to an illness in the family. players worried about parents' illnesses back home, and they are able to come here into Mississippi and secure a win as Callaway runs for 2 yards.
Yep. Really strong effort by the Gunslingers despite all of that, all the adversity, everything that happened this week. They remained focused. They came in here, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, we could tell from top to bottom that they were focused on, they knew they had to get a win this game, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go back home with that W, which will make that long bus ride home just a little bit better.
Talk more in the post-game show about what this win means to the San Antonio Gunslingers as Olvera snaps the ball, gets the ball out to his receiver, Cameron Johnson, who gains just a couple of yards. Stoppage of play on the field.
It looks like that may be the 1 minute warning.
Is that the 1 minute warning?
Or is that the game?
That's the ball game.
Looks like that. Yeah, the teams are coming on the field.
Teams are shaking hands.
Yeah.
That's going to be your final score, 46-23. San Antonio Gunslingers secure the first win in franchise history here on the road in Mississippi against the Raiders. We're going to take a break real quick as celebration happens on the field for your San Antonio Gunslingers. We'll be right back right after this.
Finally, Gunslingers football is brought to you by Moonlight Ballroom. Moonlight Ballroom is San Antonio's #1 event venue and party destination. Moonlight Ballroom is all-inclusive and offers any and all services for your event needs with party packages available. Weddings, quinceañeras, holiday parties, and more, you name it, they offer it. Give them a call today at 210-549-4180. Make sure to mention the San Antonio Gunslingers for a promotional discount. San Antonio Gunslingers football is brought to you by Admiral Power. Admiral Power is San Antonio's premier solar provider, locally owned and operated, saving homeowners thousands in electricity expenses. Admiral Power is shooting down CPS bills daily. That is great news for CPS customers. You now get $3,000 from CPS when you go solar with Admiral Power. And for all you Gunslingers fans, they have special promotions built just for you. Give them a call today for more information. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Teardrop Pepper Company. Let's talk about hot sauce. Teardrop Pepper Company has finally created the perfect recipe. Their all-natural, locally made hot sauce has a delicious blend of flavor and heat, enhancing your favorite foods and leaving you always wanting more. Whether you like the kick of habanero or the smoothness of serrano, it's the best way to spice up your Gunslingers tailgate. Teardrop Pepper Company now has 2 unique flavors available. You can order from their website, teardroppepperco.com, or from their social media pages. Use the offer code ARENA, ARENA. Save 10% on your order. Put it on everything. They'll make more. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by CryoFit. CryoFit TPC is San Antonio's leading recovery and wellness facility, specializing in whole-body cryotherapy, vitamin therapy, IV supplementation, infrared sauna, and much more. Home to your San Antonio Gunslingers, CryoFit focuses on increasing athletic performance, reducing recovery time, and pioneering prevention. The faster you recover, the harder you can train. Come experience the many benefits of CryoFit TPC. Follow them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, or visit their website, www.mycryofit.com. San Antonio Gunslingers football is also brought to you by Alamo Brewery. Alamo Brewery is San Antonio's premium production brewery. Alamo makes numerous styles of beers that are brewed specifically for our San Antonio beer palates. Look for all these beers in your neighborhood grocery store and at your favorite restaurants and bars. Alamo Brewery proudly supports the Gunslingers. Look for Gunslinger-specific labels on some Alamo Amber cans and Alamo Listo Light cans when it's time to buy your next beer.
San Antonio Gunslingers win their first game, road game, their first game in franchise history, 46-23 over the Mississippi Raiders. here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Leo, we've talked all game. Pre-game, we talked about it at halftime. We talked about it even during the game. Lots of adversity around this team, lots of distractions today, or all week long leading into today. And the response from the Gunslingers is exactly what you need to see from a team that had a rough week. Had a rough week starting 7 days ago when they lost to the North Texas Bulls. Saw some things in their home stadium that they weren't happy about as an organization. And things just kind of rolled downhill all week for them.
Right. It's really been a challenging week for the organization as a whole. A lot going on, we know, off the field since game one. But now, come out to Mississippi. I think they played a dominant game, both on defense and on offense. It was exactly what they needed. Things starting to gel together, things starting to come together despite all of the challenges they faced, despite coaching challenges, emotional challenges off the field, dealing with all of that, dealing with their first road trip, coming into another environment and playing on someone else's home field. They were pumped for their game, their home opener, just like the Gunslingers were.
Absolutely.
Coming in and despite all of that, putting on a dominant defensive performance without their defensive coach here.
Yep.
And putting on a dominant offensive performance. We talked a little bit about turnovers, a lot of key turnovers in game one by the offense, and they were able to turn things around and really click on offense this time around and avoid those turnovers.
On the Mississippi Raiders side of the ball, not the outcome you want, not the outcome you want at home. We've been through that on the Gunslinger side of things, but things to be happy about, and you really have to wonder for the Mississippi Raiders, how different does this game look if Trey Shaw is able to stay in the game, going out there early in the second quarter, really leaving Cam Myers to do the work for 3 straight quarters. And there's a reason you have a QB1. It's because he's the guy that's going to give you the best opportunity to win. Right. And Trey didn't have a chance to do that today. You got to wonder how different this game looks if Trey's able to stay in the game and run the offense that they plan to run all week long.
Definitely a different game once Trey had to come in. A lot of negative plays, lots of pressure. Mm-hmm. It's like the Gunslingers defensive line and linebackers were licking their chops, ready to get after the quarterback, put some pressure on him. And they were able to do that, put a tremendous amount of pressure on the quarterback, force him into some bad throws, not resulting in a lot of turnovers, but definitely resulting in making him very uncomfortable, where he wasn't able to lead the Raiders into making this a game again. It started to go downhill from there. Great. Nothing to take away from the defense. Great defensive performance by the Gunslingers, taking advantage of that.
Stars of the game for the Gunslingers. Who would you put up there as the difference makers in today's game?
2 guys. Obviously, Nico Thomas. Big game for him. Lots of big plays, lots of touchdowns. I think he had, 4 touchdowns?
Yeah.
4 touchdowns in this game. Really made his presence known. Definitely played the role of the offensive go-to guy when they needed the big play, if they were in 3rd down or 4th down to convert. But the absolute player of the game for me has to go to David Olvera, being under the pressure of quarterbacking his second game here. The first game he took a little bit of heat because of some decision-making issues. Had a few interceptions thrown, some ill-advised passes. We didn't see those today. He definitely made big strides from game 1 to game 2. You could see a big difference in the decision-making out there, and he put the ball into. We put the ball so that Nico was in position to make those plays that he made. Very solid performance by Olvera, throwing very well today. I'd have to give him the Player of the Game award.
1 week ago, David Olvera walked off the field after throwing at least 3. I think it was 3 interceptions.
Yep.
One of those being a pick 6. got pulled out of the game ultimately and benched in favor of Nate Mace, who finished out the game. And I can remember walking off the field, he ran into me and said, "Don't give up on me." And I said, "Of course not. You're the quarterback of this team. Don't worry about it." Tonight he proved that that is true. He is the quarterback of this team. Nate getting an opportunity at one point to come in and didn't go Nate's way tonight. That doesn't mean Nate's a bad quarterback. It did not go his way tonight. A week ago, it did not go David's way. That's the way football works sometimes.
Yep.
David came out and had a spectacular game and really put a lot of criticism to rest. He's able to manage the offense. He's able to do what he needs to do. Two other stars of the game tonight that didn't play on the field at all. Coach Quentin Humphreys,
Yep.
who kept this team focused through one of the toughest weeks any team is ever going to go through, and was able to bring them in here on the road, their furthest long trip of the year. They will go to El Paso later in the year, but this is actually further out. And through all of those distractions, keep his team focused. And then Coach Cheeto Gonzalez. Herbert Cheeto Gonzalez. I know that before the game they talked about, I'm going to call this and he's going to call that. I watched on the field as Cheeto Gonzalez called defense and offense. He was out there signaling plays to the players, called both sides of the ball today. Again, with James Stolt being unable to make it out here on the trip, and we missed you, James. Cheeto Gonzalez did a great job holding together this team. The coaching staff, after the hits they took this week, losing head coach Tony Hernandez, not having James Stoltz able to make the trip out here, those two coaches did a heck of a job leading their team to this win today.
Couldn't agree with you more, Philip. Tremendous job by these guys, having these guys focused, ready, despite all of that. The long trip, the bus trip out here, less than ideal situations, being able to get the rest in that they needed today and be ready to play. They were ready to play. They dominated this game, and it's a real testament to the guys that are in this locker room being able to get past all of that, because it was hard to do. Being a close and being an insider and seeing these guys having to stay mentally focused through all of that and come out and put the performance that they really needed as an organization today. Coming out of here 0-2 would be a much different story than coming out of here with their first win, 1-1. It's like an about face, going the positive direction, and being able to get past all of those things.
Coach Q right here. Come here. Coach Q right here. I don't have a mic, so you're just going to have to talk real loud. You're going to have to talk this direction real loud.
I got you.
We're going to.
Yep, we got him.
You can hear him? So, Coach, tell us about the game. Tell us about the week.
So, man, it was a rocky week coming up. We had to basically make sure that we got back to building up the chemistry. It's hard when you lose a head coach and have to step up. So I'm not going to sit up here and say it wasn't. But I still had to stay focused. Had to let the guys know that we still had San Antonio had something to say. So we had to come down here all the way 9 hours and a half to Mississippi to show them that we're not one of the teams that, we had a messed up field. Yeah, we probably lost last week, but we got a vision and we're going some places.
Great job. Talk a little bit about the ability for Cheeto Gonzalez, your other coach on your staff today, to step in. He was calling both sides of the ball the way I saw it. Was that right?
Yeah, he was basically calling both sides because, originally he is my OC.
Right.
We had a little mishap that our defense coordinator.
Yep, we talked a little bit about that.
And we all know that Chico's actually originally a defensive player.
Yeah.
So he knows the game. He loves the game, and he can look at the offense and read it. So I told him, I'm going to go out there sometimes and I'm going to, to give him a little bit of time because, we all know he lost his voice. But, hey, run this game and basically let's win. And we talked about it. We had a big old game plan that we was going to go out here. And, his objective was to make up what we messed up last time.
Sure.
And like you said, if you see the score, we actually came back with a win.
David Olvera really responded to a rough game last week with a really great performance today. He kind of solidified that spot as the starting quarterback of this team, didn't he?
Yes, I definitely would tell you, David. He went back and he asked me, before this game happened, Coach, what do I need to do? I told him, calm down. The one thing about football is, since I've been coaching all these years, is that you got to go down there, you got to lead the pack, you got to calm down. You're the leader on the field. If your team see that you're sweating and making mistakes, you're going to constantly keep making mistakes. Yeah, we pulled him out at the end last game, but this game, like I told him, I put him out for a second because I thought he went down a little hard on his rear. But he told me, he said, Coach, I'm ready. He got back out here, and he balled out. And that's what I expected him to do as a leader and one of the captains and as quarterback of my team.
Excellent. Winning cures a lot of ills. All of the things that might have been wrong over the last week now look a lot better because you got that first win under your belt. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Coach.
Yep. Well, there you go. What better way to have the end of your first win, the end of your first winning broadcast, first road game, than to have the head coach come all the way up to the broadcast booth because he wants to celebrate that win. We're excited for Coach Q. We're excited for Cheeto. We're excited for the ownership. Some of them here, some of them back in San Antonio, texting you like crazy about wanting updates for the game.
Updates. I'm trying to do a broadcast.
And, just a great showing put on here by Mississippi. I'm watching fans and families of players having a good time on the field. Mississippi Raider football is going to be okay. One loss is one loss.
Yep, that's right. Now it's the same story for them. I'm sure the opening night didn't go exactly the way they planned, but it's one loss. It's a long season. It's going to be a great season for all of these new teams in this AAL. The Raiders are not in the Texas division, but it is their inaugural game, their inaugural season in the AAL, so they've got nowhere left but up to go.
46-23, the San Antonio Gunslingers double up the Mississippi Raiders, take the win, even their record at 1-1. You've been watching Gunslingers Game Day Football. We're going to take one more quick break. We'll be back just to wrap this thing up in one more minute. Stick right here. San Antonio Gunslingers take a 46-23 victory here, even their record at 1-1. Nothing is over yet. That's game 2 in the books of 9 here in just 9 days in the San Antonio Rose Palace on Monday, the 29th. The Austin Wild will step into the Rose Palace, and the Gunslingers will attempt to get that first home win. What do you know? What stands out about this game to you? I'll tell you what stands out to me in a second.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of information.
Right. That's kind of more of the same. We didn't have a lot of information in the first game. We don't have a lot of information in the second. We won't have a lot of information in the third, probably till just shortly before the game is what's been the norm so far. And we get to look at these rosters and kind of see what we can see and take some guesses on what we're going to see on the field based on the research we're able to do, what we're able to find out about these players. What I do know is that the Gunslingers need to carry this momentum into the next chapter.
There you go.
This season is a season of chapters. We had chapter 1. A lot of great stuff happened in there. It didn't end the way you would hope that chapter would end. Here comes chapter 2. A lot of adversity, a lot of stuff leading to what you might expect to be a not so good ending of that chapter, but they turn things around, have a great chapter. Now we've got to take that momentum, carry it on. We've got to get that first home game, got to get the fans there to pack the Palace. A lot of things are going to be different at the Palace than they were in game 1. I know ownership is looking forward to that. The Gunslingers are looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to a great game and hopefully getting that first home win for these Gunslingers.
Tickets are available online. Go to SanAntonioGunslingers.com. Order your tickets today. Let's pack the Palace and get folks in there. This will be the third game in a row that the Gunslingers are taking on a team that is in their first game.
Right.
And they're 1-1 in those opportunities. So let's get that first home win Let's cheer on and be that extra man in the stands for the San Antonio Gunslingers on the 29th against the Austin Wild. Leo, what's left other than a 13-hour
A
drive?
long road trip back home, and we can speculate and talk about everything that happened tonight, speculate what's going to happen in the next game. I'm excited, though, because as each game passes, these Gunslingers are gaining more and more experience, more stuff under their belt, more things that they're learning from. I'm excited to see where this goes.
I'm Philip Higginbotham. That's Leo Yamas for Jonas Clark, who has been making sure all of us look good and doing what he can with the two of us, for producing the whole game, and for the Gunslingers organization from the top down, from the ownership all the way down to the players. Thank you for watching, spending time with us. This has been Gunslingers Game Day Football. Once again, the Gunslingers take a 46-23 victory and even their record at 1-1. We'll see you in about 9 days in the San Antonio Rose Palace. The 2-0's got something to say.